Sunday twilight footy from the Adelaide Oval. It's two sides in a bit of a dogfight for their season. It's Port Adelaide taking on the Gold Coast Suns. The Power, they've won 6 of their last 8. The Suns have won 5 of their last 6, so they're two sides with a real bit of momentum coming into this game, and it certainly makes it the classic 8-point match. The Suns, of course, a game clear of the Power at the moment. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy got a big team in for this clash. Sunday twilight. Ream Hot Water, built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a Ream. We welcome Sean Burgoyne, 4-time premiership star, 407 games, I think it was. Silk, mate, welcome. Today, Port Adelaide, can they back up last week?
Well, they have to. If they want to keep the finals dream alive, they've got to back it up. So, interesting game. Hopefully the weather stays away. Hopefully the weather stays away. And it's a good contest, but yeah, it's a must-win game for Port Adelaide. Right
next to you, Tom Rockcliffe, former Brisbane captain, of course, 2-time best and fairest there, and former Port Adelaide star midfielder. Rocky, what do you make of this? A Gold Coast, have they turned the corner?
Yeah, they have. They've been in really good form, and they both want to play finals, these two teams, and to stay in touch with the top 8, they've both got to win today, so it's going to be a cracking contest. We have Gold Coast sitting in 11th on 7 wins and Port Adelaide in 12th with 6, so it shapes up as a really good contest. Two high-pressure teams. I think they sit 2nd and 3rd in the competition for that stat for the year, so I'm really looking forward to this one, and Gold Coast are starting to play some really good, consistent, strong footy.
Joining me in commentary today is the one, the only Red Biglands, 10 years at the top for the Adelaide Crows and the ruck setup, and just jetted back in from Bali. How is the new business going, Bali with Biggers? Taking off?
Would have thought so. Just had to quickly jet there for a couple of quick hair braids and bintangs, and everything's okay. So looking forward to being back here, of course, for this match, because, well, the investment in player retention we're going to see for the Gold Coast this afternoon. I know we see them from afar often here in South Australia, but they are a genuine top 8 contender now, no doubt about it. After watching them over the last probably 2 months, they've got some talent to boot.
And where is Bali at, Biggles, as far as being back?
It's back. It is back.
How far are we talking? Are we 30% in? Or is it 50? Is it scaling up to 70%?
On a scale from 0 to Jordan to Goey, it sits at about a 6.
Your contribution there?
No, at the lower end.
Oh, low end, okay. Yeah, there he is, Red Biglands. Great to have him back. Biggers in Bali. Follow that. This is the Triple M footy preview for TaylorMade Golf. The all-new Stealth driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness. Look, really important game, as we've touched on, for both of these sides. And when they're that game and a bit outside of the top 8, what do you focus on leading into a match like this, boys? What will be a key feature for both of these clubs today?
I think they both would have spoke about starting well. I think when you're on the road, you want to start well, but for Port Adelaide on their home deck in front of their home fans, they've got to start well and build the momentum from the start of the game. We know they haven't been brilliant at that over the last couple of years, starting well in games. Even last week, they didn't start that well against Sydney, but found a bit of their mojo towards the back end of the first quarter and got their game going from there.
Exactly right. As the home team in front of your home crowd, you've got to put doubt in the mind of the opposition straight away. And they're coming over here, they want to stay in touch with the top 8, but you've got to put that doubt to bed straight away for your own purposes and start off really well.
So let's look at positional changes. Of course, that will affect this side because Robbie Gray is still out of the team and Darcy Byrne-Jones comes out, who's been in some pretty good form across half-back. So does Houston go back, or Jones, who played a high half-forward role for Port Adelaide last week, does he go back?
I think Houston goes back just to add a bit more maturity there. You know, you lose Cleary and Byrne-Jones, who are two experienced players. So you want your back end to be experienced, and I think that will happen. And Jones will probably they'll stick with him maybe forward because they're trying a new role with him up forward. So you don't want to swap and change him too much, but we'll find out at the centre bounce, I suppose, but that's what I would have done.
We can see the teams warming out there now, and Dan Houston's actually got the glove on and warming up with the defenders down there, and Lachie Jones is warming up with the forwards. So I think Shawnee's hit the nail on the head there with Dan Houston going back to defence.
Because this forward line for the Suns has a lot of avenues towards goal. I mean, there were 4 players last week who kicked 3 goals and 3 others who kicked 2, so multiple avenues. And when they can get going, the ground ball gets inside attacking 50, which the smaller defenders for Port Adelaide have struggled with. So if they can bring it to ground, there's a real opportunity up there for the Suns.
Well, Isaac Rankin's up and about now. It's taken him a while, but he's found his straps. He's kicking goals and he's setting them up. And I've been really impressed with the 2 big guys, you know, Levi Casbolt and Marbiel Child. They've made a real big impact because everyone would have thought they would have struggled up there without King, but they've come in and made a real impact.
Yeah, they certainly have. They've surprised everyone, I think, the way that forward line's operated this year. And the good thing with Gold Coast, they don't mess around with it. They're a territory team, so they just want to bang it in there and get it in and try and score from there. So Port Adelaide, over the last month, have really changed their game style a little bit and are disposing the ball a lot more, ball retention, and they're sitting fourth in the competition for using the footy and percentage of touches against their opposition. So two different styles today, but both want to put that pressure on the opposition. And we've seen Port Adelaide's forward half operate really well since Dixon's come back in, and Toddy Marshall's been superb in that.
Well, Todd Marshall's in career best form.
Yeah, he's in sensational form. Thanks to Fielders, our key player matchups. Fielders, for your fencing needs this footy season, is there one contest we can focus on out here today, or a couple of key contests as far as player matchups are concerned for Fielders?
Yeah, me and Rock were talking off air. We reckon the Took Miller and Willem Drew matchup.
Yep.
Willem Drew is probably the only defensive mid in Port Adelaide's team, and if you let Took run away, he'll get 40 possessions. He's the hardest working midfielder going around out there, and you need to have someone accountable for him, and the other one would be Witts.
Yeah, we spoke about Witts as well. He's probably the All-Australian ruckman at the moment, with Max Gawn out for the next 5 or 6 weeks as well. He's probably first selected in there, and Port Adelaide are going into this game again without a ruckman, but they have been really solid in clearances the last 2 weeks without a ruckman. They've gone plus 10 and plus 11 at clearances, so can they continue on that trend? I think Witts is a different opposition for him.
Can you dive into that a bit more for me? And Rhett Bigland's join in with the two-star on-ballers that are sitting next to you. How is this happening for Port Adelaide? Without a recognised ruckman, they've got Sam Hayes, who came in, sitting on the sidelines now. How are they able to win with the numbers Rocky just gave us? What are they doing?
Well, Finlayson's follow-up is followed his career. It's brilliant at providing the follow-up there, and I think over the years, when you have a dominant ruckman like Lyson and putting it to advantage, we'll get to Source Jacobs shortly as well, who's down the boundary for us to give us an insight. But you can set up to know that it's going to be a 50-50 ball rather than setting up offensively. And sometimes that plays better in the mind of the midfielders to have more of a defensive style to their game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's amazing what happens when you take the ruckman away and you actually get another smarter bloke in there doing some work.
There's the little sledge. Wait, Biggles didn't bite either.
He didn't bite.
Not talking about the ruckman. I think can't start the game without the ruckman, Tom. That's why the umpire asks, who is rucking here?
Well, I think you've seen as well. They've got another ball hunter. When Sam Powell-Pepper's gone around the ground, he's pretty much another midfielder for them. So they almost concede the hit out, but they're so good at ground level and balance that you lock your opposition player away first and foremost when you don't have a dominant ruckman, and you find the body and work off from there.
That was the reason why I didn't bite, because I didn't actually realise it was an attempt at humour from Tom Rockcliffe. We'll work that out throughout the afternoon.
And just we'll head down to Source Jacobs shortly, but just for both of these teams, they've come from nowhere in a respect because they were gone at the start of the year. Is there something you can underpin for one thing for these two sides that's really turned it around for them? Is there something that jumps out for you?
Yeah, Port Adelaide's defence. So since round 6, they're the number one team in the competition for points against. So they're just not giving up scores like they did in the first 5 weeks of the season.
I think for Gold Coast, I think their boys have finally turned into men. You know, they've got mature bodies. They've got Chol and Casbolt's a huge guy. And, you know, now they're playing, I think they put more of an emphasis on contested ball. So they're a pressure team as well. They want pressure at the source. And, you know, now they're standing over the ball and they're taking the hits and giving hits. And, you know, I consider them a contested ball team.
Oh, terrific insight. Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe. You'll be getting that sort of stuff all day for Seabus Super. We've got Sam Jacobs, former star ruckman, of course, of the Adelaide Crows. 3-time showdown medalist for Bob Jane T-Marts. Bob Jane T-Marts, buy 3, get 1 free and instant cash back on Bridgestone, Goodyear, Yokohama, Michelin, Dunlop and many more. BobJane.com.au. Source, welcome. How is it, mate, down there?
Thanks very much, Ada. Yeah, it's actually quite a nice day for footy down here now. I think, as Rocky said, the start's going to be crucial because the rain is a chance of coming, inside the next quarter or two. So the start's going to be really important.
Okay, let's soak in a bit of Never Tear Us Apart. Oh, big Sunday twilight. It's Port Adelaide, it's the Suns. The Suns a little sluggish to get into their position. Of course, you can stream every game at Triple M Footy Live on the Listener app. Download it now, LISTNR. We got Tom Rockcliffe, we got Sean Burgoyne, and here he is, Rhett Bigland's about to get us going on Triple M Footy.
As Source told us, conditions pretty good at the moment. So, McDonald's and Ream, hot water, Triple M Rocks football. Who would have thought? Port Adelaide Gold Coast clash, potential to be a blockbuster. As this mini elimination final gets underway, and Witch just sized it up perfectly, tried to put it in the path of Rowell, who couldn't track it down, but Rosie did just that. Gave it to Houston off the back of the square. Boak, early touch, good to see him back from H&S protocols. Inside attacking 50, they go the power. Ballard was good. Sat at the front, brought it to that position also. Oh, all of a sudden, Setterpon was off Markov, but tackling was okay. No free kick, didn't get a ball up inside attacking 50.
There's that pressure straight away, inside 50 tackle.
Sean Burgoyne with Tom Rockcliffe today for Seabar Super. Dersma, he's trying to smash in, and there's Drew. He's wrapped up by Markov of the Suns, and we'll have a ball up.
Seen right from the start then that Witts won the hit out, but then Finlayson just took off and made him defend the other way.
Rucks go at it. Dixon got the tap. Ellis for the Suns gets it out of the defensive area, but only momentarily. Burton takes it, closes to 55, goes for home. He's missed. Just away to the left a fraction. They get the first score of the day, Port Adelaide. It is 1 point, and we've got the Suns yet to score. Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard. Tackle your tax time with game-changing deals at Bunnings Trade.
So from the re-entry, Jonas kills it. Great spoil. And Boak was immediately set upon by Miller, who racked him up perfectly in a tackle. Now, Finlayson was just 5 metres off that congestion. He intercepts and swings around. Beautiful user of the ball. Finds Rosie at half forward. There's another dart going inside, attacking 50. Nice spoil there. Pal Pepper tried to get the crumb, couldn't get it. Working back there. Nice cover and a kick out of bounds. There were a lot of pressure on Swallow, and he missed his target. It's going to be a free kick. Dersma will take it.
So, Dersma. He has got a really tough shot tucked into the left forward pocket. Cathedral end here at the Adelaide Oval. Comes in, improves the angle, snap around, looks nice. Oh, the X-Men, bow and arrow. I don't think we saw the bow and arrow completion. It's Port Adelaide 1-1-7. The Suns are yet to score on the Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard, and we have played nearly 2.5 minutes. We've got Tom Rockcliffe and Sean Burgoyne on Triple M Footy.
Yeah, great finish then from Dersma from the pocket, the Eddie Betts pocket. He just ran around and snapped it. It's good to see him back in the team. We spoke a little bit about him off air before. He hurt that shoulder in round one and never recovered from it, and found himself out of the team and playing sample footy, and it's good to see him back.
He needs a big game, but we just saw that goal come on the back of relentless pressure. The ball was kicked out. Ryan Burton takes assertive positioning on Isaac Rankin, marks the ball, kicks a point, it comes out, goes back in. So that's the pressure that's building already on Gold Coast.
You saw the Harvey Norman. It was a full extension. It was him putting the bow back into the sack, Silk. That's the bit that I missed.
Great stuff. McDonald's and Ream hot water. Triple M Rocks football. Will's just dropped it out of the ruck and sends it half forward. The co-captain, Witch, that is exceptional stuff from him, how he just grabs it. That's what we want to do all afternoon, boys. Get on the end of it.
He's done that too. He's jumped straight into Finlayson. He's slow to get moving here, Finlayson.
He's a big man, Witz.
Stand.
Pal Pepper takes the mark on the outer wing. Houston links up again at half back, and Mead, nice lead up. Oh, his kick was an absolute clanger. Nicely cleaned up though by Burton. And now they steady the ship on the outer side again through Boak.
They look to be moving the ball pretty well here, Port Adelaide. They've worked it in the Farrell direction. He just goes with a long ball, top of the square, Georgiades, Dixon, ground level, sold some candy, just to Pal Pepper. Missed the handball target, it was Rosie, and then sweeping through, that's nearly a high tackle. Umpire has a look, nothing paid against Rankin, but we'll have it thrown in underneath the old scoreboard at the Cathedral end here at the Adelaide Oval. Port lead it by 7 points.
With Dixon and Witts. Dixon's going to spend a bit of time in the middle as well. He's strong at the boundary throw-in though. Does a great job to bring it to the front. Drew couldn't get a look at it. And now Markov tries to relieve for the Suns. Ellis couldn't quite gather, and it's front of the forward pocket, get a boundary thrown. It's 1-1-7 Port Adelaide. Gold Coast yet to score. Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard.
This game's set up perfectly for Port Adelaide at the moment. They're just playing that front half brand and just they wear opposition teams down in the past with the re-entries, and they're controlling the inside 50s at the moment.
Seabus Super making hard work pay off. The voice of Tom Rockcliffe, and next to him, Sean Silk Burgoyne. Footy, turnover, here we go, chance, Pau Pepper. He had some nice harassing from Lemons there from the Suns. Collins, he's busting through the strong defender. Got the handball on the up, Swallow a little unlucky, no free kick there. Big pressure though, he followed up and it's out of play. We'll have it tossed in right forward pocket as we head to Sauce Jacobs for Bob Jane T-Marts.
Yeah, boys, the Gold Coast forwards are really mindful of Alir's obviously ability to come off and intercept, so Burgess is making sure that he knows where Alir is at all times.
Nice work, Sauce. Right alongside the Gold Coast interchange today in the forward pocket, thrown in front of the old scoreboard. Miller's trying to gather for the Suns, couldn't quite. Drew's putting the pressure on. Nice hands in tight. It fed out again through heavy traffic. It's Mead getting a flying shot on goal. Is it Farrell, that left boot of his? It is. Farrell with some nice receiving work and run on goal. The Port have got 2-1-13. Gold Coast yet to score. Triple M Bunning trade scoreboard.
You often see that in defensive 15 teams. They're very reactive. Gold Coast are very reactive to Port Adelaide. They were the ones on the moves, and Gold Coast were just chasing players. And Farrell just wrapping on his left, and that's an easy goal for him. Probably their best kick in the team, but they just can't chase their players. They've got to have some players actually try to get the ball as well, don't they?
Yeah,
in the defensive 50.
They do. Port Adelaide are all over them at the moment. The ball doesn't look like coming out of their forward 50 once it goes in. There's no easy kicks or easy possessions for the Suns out there at the moment. So when they win it out of the middle in the centre, they've got to find a way to lock it in their front half and give their forwards an opportunity here. You don't want Port Adelaide to get much more momentum than what they've got at the moment.
Seabus Super, Tom Rockcliffe and Sean Burgoyne. We're back in the middle for McDonald's at Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy, and Finlayson takes it out of the ruck, sends it forward, and wrapped up. Motlop will have a ball up. I think on the Red Z lending stats as well, boys, that's even further emphasised with 8 marks to Port Adelaide and 0 to the Suns. They are just not able to get any sort of clean possession, as you touched on, Rocky. Rowell, he came busting through. Ainsworth, nice little handball. Here's Miller from half-back for the Suns, measuring and delivering. And it's a nice stretch taken by Rankin. What a star he is. Centre wing. Looking for the next option. Porter got it all pretty well covered, so he's got to go to the contest. Gee, is that a free kick? Umpire says no, just let them all knock each other down. Here's McKenzie back into the side today for Port Adelaide.
Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Holman got bowled over. A lot of sets of arms in that. Get your tax time essentials at Harvey Norman, shop in store or online. So some good contests all around the ground. Chol, their forward line we talked about in the Suns in the pre-game. A lot of avenues towards goal. Here's Chol. And Alir spots up Burton. Burton tries to slow things down. Goal kicker last week, already had a shot on goal this afternoon. Likes to kick to Dixon direction. Nice ball over the top. Well done there from Graham. Got a fist right through it. It bounces into the centre of the ground. Now Roses with some speed. Miller, beautiful beautiful ball in the path of Ainsworth. That was nicely weighted. They're on the drive here, the Suns. It ends up with Holman inside attacking 50, barely 15. But he'll release from about 45, gets on the left immediately. And Holman just tries to drop it in short. Silk Burgoyne, where do you reckon that should have gone?
Well, he can make the distance. He marked that ball 45 metres out. But that was a lot better build-up. They took some uncontested marks where they controlled the ball, but just back your leg in. And all the other forwards get around him, so have a shot, take the pressure off the game.
Throw in. City in goal. Suns are going this way. They're yet to register on the scoreboard. Port lead it by 13 points. Houston back in defence for the Power. Gets it out of there. Nice fist from Marshall. Falls to Holman. Tried to snap it around, as you heard, touched. Umpires mic'd exclusively for Triple M. Swallows' hands were good. Oh, Anderson wrapped up. Really ragdolled by Farrell. He's done. Nice, strong tackle. And the goal kicker will go back from the defensive 50.
Clear intent from Port Adelaide. They want to get after the Gold Coast Suns, and they're doing it at the moment. Nothing easy for the Gold Coast at all out there at the moment.
Farrell to the outer side. Dixon tried to provide the contest. Markov did a good job just to get a hand in. And then Farrell, so he slows things down, but his kick is wayward. And Farrell is doing a great job getting plenty of red Zs early. Great to see him back from that knee reconstruction last year. Willem Drew's got 2 to beat on the wing. Jones comes in late to help him out. Forward handball to Wines, back to Drew. And now they build. Rosie assesses his options. Hits the 50-metre arc, spots it up inside, and Georgiades had an acre. And every Gold Coast defender looks at each other and says, who's on him?
You just saw the transition there. Switch of the play, kick out to the wing. Midfielders run to the space, get the crumb, overlap, and then kick the uncontested mark. You compare that to Gold Coast, which is all pressured footy.
So Mitch Georgiades, he sits 9th in the 19th, I should say, for marks inside 50, and he's already got 1 today. So his confidence is probably not where it should be in recent weeks, fighting for his spot, you must say. This one's an easy one, though. Port have got 3, easy as you like. So they go to 3-1-19. The Gold Coast yet to get on the Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard.
Yeah, on the Harvey Norman replay there, it was fantastic composure from Connor Rosie. He was waiting for someone to lead up to him. He was waiting for Georgiades to come at him, and he just didn't. So he just ended up kicking it to the spot and split the Gold Coast defenders perfectly. And Georgiades didn't have to move and takes an uncontested mark 12 metres out.
Well, Gold Coast have to make the most of the opportunities. They had a 2v1 on the wing in the air, and they both went up and brought the ball to ground, and Jones picks up the crumb. So you've got to make the most of those opportunities as a travelling team, and at the moment they're not. And you spoke about it before the game, but Finn Layson's actually getting his hands on the ball when it's on the ground, isn't he, in the middle from his centre bounces?
Yeah, he is. I think Witts needs to jump into him again in this centre bounce and try and bang him up a little bit.
We're back in the middle for McDonald's at Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Port Adelaide lead at 3-1. The Suns yet to score. Working hard, Mead got a nice little tap. Little handball from Dursba. Rosie getting busy. Here's Houston looking for and finding Jones. He's got him at half forward. Has to get on with it. Sends a high long ball in the Marshall direction. Dixon will be from the side. Motlop front and centre. Just overran the ball. Swallow had some body pressure from Willem Drew. They're under all sorts of heat here, the Suns. Got the ball out of there. The bounce favoured Chol. He's wrapped up strongly. That's a nice tackle by Houston. We'll have a ball up. Introducing the Australiano, made with McCafe coffee, chai and native Australian wattle seed biggles.
You don't mind those. They certainly do freshen you up. Love the wattle seed. 19-point lead to the Power. From the stoppage again. Some nice hands. Dursma takes on the tackler, still gets it to Bonner. He was good enough, so he keeps it in the field of play right in front of the interchange gates. Left foot ball to half forward. Now Motlop's, was immediately set apart. How did he get rid of it? No free kick paid. Meads at the bottom of the pack. On top of him is Davies. Now Miller for the Suns. Gee, the pressure inside is strong. There's no easy possessions at the moment. Ellis trying to drag it in. Could now soccer off the ground inside attacking 50. Brilliant smother from Rosie. It ricochets. And all of a sudden they're into half forward. Now top of the goal square. Ball comes through. Farrell tried to get through. Tried to part the seas, but he was immediately tackled. Almost could have got through for goal. And Dixon was the man who pumped it in there.
Just seeing Flanders then, he could have gone back and helped come third man up and almost taken an uncontested mark, but he decided to stay down, and Farrell nearly pinched that goal off him.
The extraordinary pressure in that little patch of play. Here's Marshall. Got the handball up. Motlop couldn't get the handle on it. Here's Rowell for the Suns. Looking for Chol. He's able to beat Lear there in a one-on-one. But he's got no one to go to. He's got a bit of a lead up, but he's going to have to come down the line. He goes to the contest. Fisted away from Burgess. Ground level Mead. Get a few Red Z lending stats. Houston boots the ball quickly. And here's Lear. He's got it just backward a centre wing. 3-1-19 Port. Suns yet to score. Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard. Lear long ball in the Dixon direction. Big Fist Collins finds the line. It's out of play. Let's head down to Sam Jacobs, Bob Jane T-Marts. Buy 3, get 1 free and instant cash back on Bridgestone, Goodyear, Yokohama, Michelin, Dunlop and many more. BobJane.com.au. Source.
Boys, obviously a very hot footy down here, and that's probably shown in the clangers stat with Gold Coast 8 clangers to Port Adelaide's 1.
Nice work, Source. Having a good look at this boundary throw-in happening right in front of him. So Miller got the clearing kick, going back with the flight rank, and the ball was touched. You can hear the umpires mic'd up exclusively for Triple M Radio.
And Dan Houston, who's been in career best form on the Red Z lending stats, he started really well. He's up to 7 disposals already.
Tom Rockcliffe. And Silk Burger in control. Triple M C-Bus super special comments. Source Jacobs on the boundary. So Willem Drew at ground level was good, but he was immediately set upon. He's had a few important touches early.
Source Jacobs mentioned before they're manning up Aaliyah, but they're just leaving Tom Jonas free. And he can do exactly what Aaliyah can do. Now they're going to try even it up.
So, yeah, just off the pack there. It looks like Holman's gone over to try and make it a 2-on-2 situation. Well picked up there. Sean Burgoyne as Pau Pepper out of the contest. Sends it to Port Adelaide up towards half forward. Georgiades in a bit of a battle there. Doing well, Ballard. Just coming in, Bowes lending a hand. Nice little tackle brush happening from Flanders. Got it to Ballard up towards centre wing. Here he is again, Houston. As Tommy Rockcliffe told us, he's having a really influential opening term. It's his 9th Red Z lending stat. Amon measures it nicely to Willem Drew.
Drew's got multiple options. He's going to go long to Jones. Probably not the best choice because Dixon was out. It spills over the back. Georgiades picks up the Brothers. He got boot to ball right at the goal line. He misses.
You've just got to give that handball. Yeah, Charlie Dixon standing on the goal line by himself.
Wanting the ball. Easy Scully lever kick.
You won't want to see that on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay. You've said Georgiades just not quite at his confident best as yet. I'm sure he'll get there as we close in on the second half of the year. So 20-point lead. Port Adelaide, Gold Coast yet to score. Yeah, almost 16 minutes gone in this first term. And don't forget, tackle your tax time with game-changing deals at Bunnings Trade. No doubt you head down there, Rocky. Not sure if you've ever picked up a hammer in your life, but
I was at Bunnings recently, just collecting
sausages.
Yes.
Here's Chol out of the contest. He's done throwing the ball.
They're just not with it, the Gold Coast Suns, are they?
Nah.
They're so far off the pace at the moment. Port Adelaide come out with an intent, and they are all over the Suns.
Tom Rockcliffe and Sean Burgoyne on Triple M footy today for C-Bus. Here's Ollie Wines just dumping it. Georgiades flew is about 5 deep. Marshall tried a little dribbler. Didn't quite come off. So working a long way back here, Markov showing a nice bit of dash. Delivering out wide, Ainsworth got him. Centre wing. Wants it a little over the top to Roses. Got him. And he's just forward to centre wing now. Nice little inboard. This is good transitional footy. Markov's kept running. It all started with him. He's got it, sends a big one in. They're outnumbered here, though, the Suns. Big fist that came from Burgess. Burton was right there, and that's their first score of the day. They are 1 point Gold Coast. Port Adelaide a 3-2-20. Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard opening term 17 minutes in.
A lot better build-up there, but Port Adelaide still got the +1 back, and Gold Coast is going to find it hard to score if they keep giving Port Adelaide a spare.
They just left Bonner from the kick-in, 40 out directly in front, so they weren't too concerned to leave him there. Chips a short ball to Amon. Khan Amon's having a ripping year, getting stacks of the footy. Had 31 disposals last week. He spent a little week or two in the sample, but prior to that, since 2019, he has not missed a game. Now Ollie Wines is on the outer wing. You can hear the roars. He starts to run with it. Markov getting back. Nice coverage from the Suns. That's what they do well. They really look after each other down back.
It's very stagnant here on these plays. That's why they've got to kick the ball long. Here they go. They're going to try to switch it, which is something different.
So Flanders, he goes back and finds Lemons. Tucked it under the wing. Gee, dicing with death here. He's kicked it out on the full.
That's probably why they've been kicking along down the line. Try something different and kicks it on the full with no pressure.
Spoke briefly pre-game about Gold Coast being a territory team, and they kick long a lot, but today they're going to have to try and get the corridor and change angles. Port Adelaide are too sound defensively down the line with their two tools down the line, Aaliyah and Jonas.
So Georgiades, he's kicked 1-1. Shawnee Burgoyne said the easiest goal he'll kick, that he didn't. As he comes in, Georgiades. This is a tough one from where Dersma was earlier, and he's just pulled it across to the left. It's a minor score, and they are 3-3. Port Adelaide 21. The Suns are 1 point. Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard. We've played 19 minutes opening term.
Dodgy kick in, but they try to come in front of the St Donald Bradman grandstand again. The push out there from Burgess was not paid. They've made their way to half forward. The ball's going to go in front of Ainsworth. He loves this situation. Can he gather? Oh, Jonas took the ball out of his arms. Just did an arm chop and got it to ground. Great job by the skipper. And the supporters love it.
Definitely saved the goal there, didn't he? You know Jonas always going to body line the ball and the body, and he did what he had to do there. Dan Houston would thank him for that.
So ball up, 25 out from the Gold Coast goal. Casbolt on. Fresheri. Now, there is a free kick. Is that going to go to Casbolt from the ruck?
Yep.
It is. He tried to fresh air hack it. And regardless, there was an arm over the shoulder. What you see, boys, on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay?
Yeah, he just, Finlayson slipped up high, went to jump and just made some contact with Casbolt's head. He's a bit unlucky. There's not a great deal in it.
Levi Casbolt, 3 goals last week, lining up for his first of the afternoon and the Suns' first. And he delivers. So the Suns have finally got a goal. They're 1-1-7. Port Adelaide at 3-3-21. That's a 14-point margin in the Triple M Bunning Trade scoreboard.
I guess that's what happened when you put a makeshift ruckman in. They can give away frees that potentially aren't there, but that's a goal. That's a goal that Gold Coast needed just to settle the nerves. Interstate, we've started poorly. We've got our first goal now. Let's reset. And you know they're only 2 goals behind, 2.5 goals behind. So maybe that just put the nerves to bed. Yeah,
hopefully this kick starts them. And Port Adelaide have probably left a couple of goals out there as well. We spoke about Georgiades before, not giving the handball to Dixon on the line, and Marshall potentially had an option to give a handball as well. So they're still in touch. Port Adelaide haven't put them away, but hopefully this kick starts the Gold Coast and we can get a really strong contest from here.
Seabar Super making hard work pay off. We got Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe today. The Power by 14 points, but as the boys have touched on, the Suns' last couple of minutes just starting to rein a bit back. We're back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Miller got it to Swallow, who got it out of the middle. Ainsworth working hard. He's wrapped up by Frederick. And we'll have a ball up.
Is he your man, Biggles? Marty Frederick?
He's a good player, isn't he?
Very good.
I love the way he rebounds and hopefully gets more of a crack at it. Marty Frederick had 5 tackles last week. So from the ball up, the Suns are providing a bit more pressure around the contest now. One of those players is Anderson. Got a hand in just enough. Now Swallow kicks it into attacking 50. Davies was pushed out of it. And Houston is strong in the contest, takes another intercepting mark. The goal kicker last week too, Dan Houston, hasn't missed a game this year. Just can play multiple roles down back or forward on a wing. He's missed to fix it really. So on the outer wing now, the Power try to drive forward. 6 minutes left in this second term. Witts did well. Got back, kicked behind the play. Into the front, trying to go through was Bowes, did just that. And then a little dodgy handball somehow ended up with Frederick. Look, I throw to Tom Rockcliffe and myself. Now Jones under pressure, back to Frederick.
Here he is, Frederick. You're right, Rocky. Biggles loves Frederick. And the footy's in the middle. They even tried to give him a game when he wasn't in a couple of weeks ago. Here's Amon. He tried his best to persuade Ken Hinckley, but he had none of it. Here's Frederick again, Biggles. Releases a handball. Long raking footy from Jonas. Dixon in a 1-on-2. Ground level Georgiades. Have a look at Port Adelaide swarm with numbers. Jones an opportunity. Snapping go. He's nailed it. Gee, they were just all around it. And that's a nice little snap from the youngster. 4-3-27 Port. 1-1-7 Suns. Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard. Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe on Triple M footy.
I'd love to hear from Sam Jacobs at some point about what it's like at ground level. It just looks like to us from up here that Port Adelaide's intensity around the footy is much higher than the Suns have started this game. Their pressure's a lot better than what the Gold Coast has, and they're turning up in numbers. And even then, I think they outnumbered the Gold Coast Suns on the Harvey Norman replay inside their forward 50. And Jones was on the outside all by himself, and a nice snap to finish.
Might go down to source just to get that. Otherwise, if you ask a question, then you don't let the person reply. It's like a Bernie Vince sort of style.
Thanks, Biggles. I think this is the challenge for the Gold Coast Suns boys. If it's not Witts and Miller, who's going to get the boys going? And at the moment, Port Adelaide's pressure is just red hot, and they're doing it all over the ground.
Very good for Bob Jane Team Arts. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water also. Triple M Rocks footy, which was up early. Rao, look at him take a ball on. He's a bull, but Wines grabbed it out of his arms. Here's Jones, the goal kicker. And half forward was a short kick. Has enough time to swing around. Beautiful pass to Marshall. And Marshall had some great separation.
Beautiful kick.
Well, I think his Marshall's defender was sagging inside, and what put him off is Jones turned inside instead of outside, and Marshall had split. So just a bit too much room to give Marshall their most informed forward. I think that's Collins, who normally plays that a lot better.
So 5 minutes left in this first term. Marshall kicked 4 goals against the Swannies. And 2 bags of 5 this year in career best form. Lining up, 35 out. Not much angle to speak of. Perfect for a right footer. And Port Adelaide have their 5th. Marshall just eased it through. 5-3-33 they are, 1-1-7 the Suns. And the Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard.
Yeah, on the Red Z lending stats, it's getting out of control now for the Gold Coast. Port Adelaide are up to 14 inside 50s, and they've scored 8 times when they've gone inside 50, Shawnee. They're just all over them at the moment. Their forward line's operating sensationally.
Yeah, they are. Well, I'd like to see Gold Coast actually working a bit harder when they have the ball to get more uncontested marks to build it up. So then you're not just kicking the ball long as your first option, and you make the Port Adelaide players defend you the longer you do, and vice versa. You see Port Adelaide, they're using the numbers. We saw Carl Amon get the ball to Fredericks hand pass over to Jonas, and Jonas kicks it in long. So we've seen two different styles of play at the moment, and one's having a better effect on the game than the other.
And 31 marks to 10 on the Red Z lending stats, Sean. It backs up what you're saying. Red Z lending loans for the self-employed. We are back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. The Suns have worked it to Ainsworth at half forward. Port by 26 points. Ainsworth sends one in. Aaliyah came across. Nice fist. Here's Swallow working for the Gold Coast. Oh, Rosie pushed him in the back.
Push in the back.
So he'll go back here, Swallow.
Ollie. Clear out, please. Tom, Ollie.
Very lucky. Even that kick inside 50s, the Gold Coast forwards were outside of their player, but the ball was kicked inside, so Aaliyah's allowed to spoil it. So just a better connection in the forwards.
Yeah, the Harvey Norman replay. Rosie just both hands in, Swallows back and pushed him straight in the back. A bit silly in that part of the ground.
So he's been a stalwart of this club, Swallow. 189th game today. City end goal. Kick on the way, and he's missed. And it's a minor score only. So they're 1-2, the Suns. Margin 25 points, Port Adelaide. They're 5-3. 33 plays 8. Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard opening quarter.
When you think about the Suns, you think about Swallow. No one deserves to play in a final ball. You would have thought, oh, no, Bonner had a mare from the kick in. How did he miss Chol? He hit him right on the lips. What was he thinking?
I was going to say Ken Hinkley would be pulling his hair out in the box, but he doesn't have any to pull out, so that's just under 12 stuff. He could have gone long, and this could get the Gold Coast Suns back into the game.
So maybe old Chol from the pocket, City end. Kicked 3 goals last week. He's been a big target up there for the Gold Coast this year. Originally a rookie before he was at the Tigers. Left foot ball, he loves it. No, just across the face.
The umpire's gone down.
And the man in lime green right on the line.
All good.
Just shake it off. Don't rub it, mate. Don't rub it.
Trying to take hangers on the goal umpire.
Like that trick. Minus score.
You're taking a few hangers on the goal umpires.
Yeah, he used to do that all the time. Mini league. 1-3-9 the Gold Coast, 5-3-33 the Port Adelaide.
So the Suns, or free kick going Port Adelaide's way. So it's going to go the way of Aaliyah. High contact.
Come on. Clear out, we'll stay with him.
They lead it here, the Power by 24. Aaliyah gave the handball to Rosie. Goes out wide to Dersma.
Stand, Noah.
Backward to centre wing. Xavier looking down the line. And he just unloads a long ball. Looking for Marshall to come through. Fist from Collins. Suns have got ground level numbers. Took Miller. Sends it up to a contest. Casbolt able to beat Jonas out the back. Ainsworth steps inside. Over the top chipping ball. Chol can run in and take it. He can kick the goal, and he will kick the goal. Suns get their second. Nice little bit of movement from the back half. 5-3-33 Port Adelaide. The Suns are 2-3-15. All that happening. Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard. Sam Jacobs for Bob Jane T-Marts on the boundary.
Boys, as you know, the centre bounce isn't for the faint-hearted, and Jared Witz has drove his knee right into the leg of Finlayson, so he's off at the moment. So be interesting to see if that's a bit of a turning point, as Charlie Dixon's had to come up into the centre bounce now.
Yeah, on the Harvey Norman replay there, the Gold Coast Suns just protected the corridor really well from that contest. The long ball from Port Adelaide down the line, and Took Miller was there and cleaned up the crumbs, and then they were able to get it forward, and Casbolt got out the back on Jonas, and really good play from the Gold Coast Suns. They just protected the corridor so well, and they were set up to transition back at Port Adelaide.
Tom the Pig Rockcliffe there. Triple M Seabar super special comments. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Witz did well to Rao, put it on a plate for him, and Rao was just jumped. Boat does not give you an inch at centre bounce. Just so clever in there. His body positioning, he's smart. And he dumps one. 30 out from goal. Marshall had a look. Across the front though. Couldn't quite bring it down. It was that Ollie Wines jumping in front of the pack. Did a good job. Now it makes its way out to the 50-metre up. Power Pepper providing the pressure. And jumping on top of him, we'll get a ball up. So, minute 45 left in the first term. Power by 18.
That's Rankin coming back on the half-back flank. He needs to step up. He's only had one possession this first quarter for Gold Coast.
Red Z lending non-statter there. We got Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe today. Witts just took it cleanly out of the ruck. G. Burton tackled without the ball. And that's against Rankin, who's just grabbing his left lower leg, Rankin. He's gradually getting to his feet, but Burton with the footy.
That's what you do, is when you give a freeway, hold your own body.
As he goes inside 50 here, Burton. Ground level ball. You get all the insights here on Triple M footy. And it's all wrapped up here. We'll have it tossed up.
Well, people feel a bit sorry for you when you hurt your own self. Oh, but I hurt myself as well.
Got a book coming out, Sean Burgoyne too. Footy 101 should be a great read. Oh, Dixon grabbed it out of the ruck and then took 6 blokes on, got through traffic, then tried to find Georgiades. A snap on goal there. Somehow came around the corner, but it's missing from Rosie. Farrell again, in fact. How is he getting so many easy looks at on their left foot of his? He's a dangerous commodity.
In Football 101 book, you stand on the left side of a player who kicks on the left foot, not on the right side.
There's chapter 1.
50 metres.
So,
Stand rule, got him.
okay, Swallow with the footy. Really looking forward to that chapter on Pretend You Hurt from Sean Burgoyne as they work it up towards centre wing here, the Suns.
There's a lot of players in that book.
Here's Chol. So the Suns, they are just gradually grinding their way back to something, although a free kick from Roses gives it away to Frederick. The margin only 19 points in what feels like has been a dominant Port Adelaide quarter. Now Powell Pepper goes back. We're closing in on quarter time. I guess 19 points does qualify as dominant, but you know what I mean? They feel like a bit more than that margin.
Yeah, as bad as the Gold Coast Suns have started, they're still in this game. Port Adelaide haven't put them away, so if they can get to quarter time and reset and get their game going, they're absolutely in this game.
Swallow took a courageous mark in front of 2 big Roosters, and he dumps it inside, attacking 50, and a free kick has been paid, and Holman's going to get it. Bonner wrapped him up. Just had a bit of Guernsey.
Yeah, on the Harvey Norman replay there, Bonner just grabbed his shirt. He tried to protect his teammate in front, who was Ryan Burton, to take an uncontested mark, and he just tried to protect him and wrapped him up. Free kick was there.
Now, can you boys take, this is really irritating me. I've seen it 4 times over the weekend. When you're taking a shot after the siren, the umpire rushes in and reminds you about what you can and can't do. You already know, aren't you? Don't you want to go through your setup and kick the goal?
Yes, you do.
See the hairs on the back of Brenton Yates' neck standing up, and Holman knows this ground well. The former Central District star misses to the left. That's a bad miss. That would have been very handy. It's an 18-point margin to the Power, but the Gold Coast are back in it.
So it's a 3-goal lead, as Biggle said, as we go around the grounds for RAA and Sure with the locals today. And earlier on, the Crows home by 57 points over the Kangaroos, and at the moment it's the Pies. They lead the Giants by 23 points. Quarter time here in the final game of the round, and Port Adelaide have a 18-point buffer. It's 5-4-34, 2-4-16 the Suns, back with Tom Rockcliffe and Sean Burgoyne for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Bunnings Trade. Tackle your tax time with game-changing deals at Bunnings Trade.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
score yourself an absolute Macca's legend, the McChicken. Order via McDelivery today. McDelivery is available in select locations.
Triple M Breakfast with Roo Dits and Loz. The Rumour Mill.
Mark on the line from Onkabringer Hills.
This is the big rumour. Clips will talk.
Right. Adelaide 500.
And they're down to 2 for the concert. Killers or Guns N' Roses? They're looking towards Guns N' Roses more over the Killers.
Cool. Triple M's Rumour Mill. Got a good rumour? You could win $1,000.
You guys should start calling that Rumour Mill Trumour Mill.
Triple M Breakfast with Roo Dits and Loz.
Toolkit Depot. Best deals, no BS. Visit your local store now.
Why is it an advantage to play on your home ground? Because you're in a place you know and love. You have experience there and, of course, local support. South Australia is Sterling Homes' home ground and has been for over 45 years. So if you have a project coming up, big or small, near or far, make sure you get the home ground advantage with Sterling Homes. Visit one of their 12 display villages or sterlinghomes.com.au.
pushing the boundaries of innovation. Stihl has been voted Australia's most trusted brand of outdoor garden power tools. I'm talking chainsaws, trimmers, blowers, and all the leading brand mowers. And at Stihl Shop Fulham, they stock them, service them, and you can buy them using ZipPay or Afterpay. Stihl Shop Fulham, family-owned and awarded SA Metro Dealer of the Year. Get the full battery and petrol range at Stihl Shop Fulham.
You wouldn't operate a chainsaw blindfolded. You wouldn't ride your dirt bike blindfolded. And you wouldn't walk on your roof blindfolded. Yet too many people dig without searching before you dig online first. Because if you don't search first, you're digging blind. Avoid high-pressure gas mains and high-voltage electricity cables every time. Search before you dig online every time. And never dig blind.
Do you want to win the value of your car service back? At North Point Toyota, just book your next service online, and one lucky person per month has the chance to have the cost of their service paid back. All you have to do is book online at northpointtoyota.com.au, and you'll be automatically entered into the draw to win the value of your car service back. It's the North Point way. Hillcrest, Prospect, Port Augusta, or northpointtoyota.com.au. T's and C's apply.
At Peter Shearer Menswear, for a limited time, buy any item and we'll give you any second item half price. Mix all brands and all styles, including new season winter stock. Buy any Cambridge suit and get a second half price. Refresh your Boston shirts and get a second half price. Buy any Daniel Hester sports coat and get your Aquila chinos half price. Shop in store and online. Always at Peter Shearer Menswear. Rundle Mall, Glenelg, Mount Barker and new store in Gawler. petershearer.com.au. T's and C's apply.
How can you be distinctive? What if your house, the very bricks and mortar you call home, was created by you? Step ahead of the rest with Distinctive Homes. Affordable boutique homes. Be inspired by our online catalogue. From 40 top designs, you can pick all your favorite elements to create your dream distinctive home. Come and meet the team or view the online catalogue at distinctivehomes.com.au.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Oh yes, quarter time, Adelaide Oval. Port lead it by 18 points, 5-4-34 the Power. The Suns 2-4-16 for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. Let's head to Tom Rockcliffe, Sean Burgoyne with their thoughts on the opening quarter and the key numbers on the Triple M Red Z Lending.
Yeah, you're a bit angry then that quarter time with the umpire going over there, Yatesy. Everything okay?
Well, mate, I've never done it at this level, of course, but you guys have. I just think if I'm having a shot for goal after the siren, I know what the rule is. You don't need to come up and put your arm on me and be within 1 centimetre of my face.
Players do silly things out there. It's good to be reminded.
Well, then let them.
I think he might be a bit grumpy. There might be an underlying issue. He got his seat stolen last week, but we'll get into that a little bit later. On the Red Z Lending stats there, Dan Houston was really influential in that first quarter. He's up to 11 disposals, and David Swallow for the Gold Coast Suns has had 12, but there's nothing really jumping out at us. Port Adelaide have had 25 more disposals, and they're plus 20 or plus 19 in marks. That's probably the only thing, and 16 inside 50s to 10 in Port Adelaide's favour. But all the other numbers are pretty even.
Yeah, they are. We're just seeing Port Adelaide's style of play being more effective than Gold Coast style of play. They're building it up through uncontested marks, getting it in good position, then kicking along, where Gold Coast are kicking along as their first option. And both teams are applying good pressure, but Port Adelaide should have put them away then. There should be 4 or 5, maybe 6 goals up. So even though Gold Coast lost the quarter on the scoreboard, it's relatively a good win for them because they're still in the game.
Here's Red Biglands on Triple M footy, second quarter about to get underway.
Intriguing battle so far in this mini-elimination final. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Finlayson Tiny's jumped well, but Miller has been busy for the Suns. Gathers, hooks around the corner, sends it into attacking 50. Jonas steams out after it and get a stalemate. And the ball up, 40 out from the Gold Coast goal in front of the old scoreboard, which leads Port Adelaide by 18 points. So Wittston's battle almost gives away a free kick over top of Finlayson. And some quick hands in tight, ends up with Bonner. Rosie's on the spread. Did a great job from stoppage. You could see him on the move immediately and doing a great job in the midfield, boys, isn't he, recent weeks?
Yeah, I reckon he's in career best form since he's gone in the midfield since round 6, really.
Yeah, he's really got some composure through traffic as here he is again, trying this way, that way, and just had the wheels to get around a few. And then he delivered a long ball, the high ball, more than long perhaps. Jones came through with a bit of venom. Got a fist to it. Here's Motlop. Oh, Houston ran into a real traffic jam, wrapped up by Ainsworth. Willem Drew for Port Adelaide on the front edge of the centre square. He's wrapped up. And ball spilled out after the umpire blew the whistle. So Port lead it by 18 points. Triple MIJ Liquor scoreboard.
So Miller went flying through the stoppage, which tried to find him. They're getting on the bolt here, but it ends up with a Port clearance. But nice intercepting work from Ballard. That's what he does well for the Suns. And now they've got a chance. Ends up with Holman. It's right a logo. Now Ainsworth. Quick little chip to Casbolt, but McKenzie back into the team this week for Port Adelaide. Gets the spoil right in front of Sam Jacobs. We might go down to Source for Bob Jane teammates, but because there's a special coach in the box this week for Port Adelaide Source.
Yeah, there's a bit of Crows royalty. Silk would love that one. Erin Phillips looks to be in the box starting her coaching career.
Very good. Erin Phillips, crosstown rival, of course, suiting up for Port Adelaide this year. Silk's sister-in-law in the coaching box for the first time. Silk, is that right? Any inside info there?
It is. It's an experience, guys. If you ever got to sit in a coach's box, it's unlike. It's a money can't buy experience. Yeah, she'll definitely learn some things in there that hopefully she can take over to the women's game with her.
So we'll have it thrown in. I think we've got Holman on the Harvey Norman replay as well, Source, getting some attention to her hand. Might get you to see what they're doing there as Casbolt puts a nice tackle on deep forward here for the Suns.
Jeremy.
So Bonner getting up off the deck. Port lead it by 3 goals. Inside the Suns attacking 50. Wits out of the contest. Oh, he had a snap. Boak got his hands up to put a smother in and it rolls out of play.
That's where they're doing their damage at the moment, Gold Coast, in that ruck battle. The advantage comes in the forward 50 for them against a non-ruckman.
So Witts again has been dominant so far. He's going to look for the move of Rankin, who tried to get through. Bonner picked it off, did well. Miller, check side, somehow cut it off, but goes to the skinny side of goal. It's a minus score to the Suns. They trail by 17 points. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. Let's get down to Source Jacobs, Bob Jane teamarts.
Yeah, boys, tough nut. Nick Holman's come off. His finger just came out, so they just strapped it up and he'll be back on shortly.
You're right, Source. He's as tough as pots and pans, old Holman. Former Central District star, doing great things up at the Gold Coast. One of their most important small forwards now, and that kick is not great. Is that out of bounds on the full? It is. On the outer side. So they'll reload the Suns through Brandon Ellis. Kicks to the hot spot. Can Chol get a look at it? Floating across the front was Casbolt. Nice spoil. Houston sits under it. Another ball up. 15 out from goal.
The Gold Coast are getting some re-entries now, repeat entries, so the pressure's building on Port. So they're trying to do what they did to them in the first quarter and see how it goes.
Sean Burgoyne with Tom Rockcliffe today for Seabus. Frederick wrapped up, and they're really applying some forward 50 pressure here, the Suns. Putting some nice tackles on. They keep it in there. They're going to the Cathedral end in this term. Port lead it by 17 points. Wits again out of the contest, as Rocky said. It's where they might be able to get some ascendancy in that forward 50. Gee, Rowell had it a long time. Got rid of it somehow. Amon, he was held a bit without it. No whistles coming. Frederick for Port. Miller dives in.
Just watch behind me, please.
There's a bit going on off the ball here. Rankin and Bonner are into it. There's a few fake punches being thrown at the moment.
They love to get Rankin on the move. Inside stoppages in forward 50. Oh, he did it again, Wits. Just grabbed it, kicked it to half forward. Casbolt.
Holding, Gold Coast.
Free kick.
Holding.
It's either going to go to Chol. It is to Chol. He was held.
50 metres, umpire dissent.
Oh, and a conversation the umpire didn't appreciate.
Finlayson.
It's 50 against Jeremy for dissent, okay?
They're all over it, Rocky, and Chol is going to get his second from the goal square.
What's the matter?
Gold Coast have got their third.
That's a clear hole.
And Finlayson still wants to have a little meeting with the umpire. Regardless, the goal is in the books. So they're 3-5-23, the Suns. 5-4-34, Port Adelaide. It's 11-point margin. Triple MIJ Liquor scoreboard. IJ Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Well, that's just a build-up of pressure. They've had repeat inside 50s. Wits is trying to take the ball out of the ruck, and he's getting it forward, and then defenders grab. It's what they do when the ball keeps coming back in under the pump. So Gold Coast having a few minutes here where they're putting good pressure on.
Finlayson's come from 30 metres away there to abuse the umpire. A really strange decision from him to even get involved. He wasn't in that contest. He must have been unhappy with how he's been treated at the stoppages, but as we spoke about, Witts is all over him inside those forward 50 stoppages.
I used to see a bloke wearing number 11 do that all the time for Port Adelaide. He's got little stocky legs and no shoulders.
Well, McDonald's and Reeve Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy.
That's when you could do it, Biggles.
The old Biggles battle with Rocky. You shape up to it week in, week out here on Triple M footy. Here's Rosie from the back half. They're just looking a little bit out of sorts, Port Adelaide, as the Suns. Lemon's a nice little push-off mark. He's got it centre wing. Puts a high ball. Goes in the direction of the top of the 50. Aaliyah was there. Rankin sweeping through with some nice little pace. Got it to Rowell on the handball. Long high ball in. Casbolt one-on-one. Nice fist came from McKenzie. Rosie or Chol took the ball. Snapped the ball. Chol, baby! Oh! You can't believe it! Chol! Snapping ball.
I believe
We've
it's
got a score
behind. Hit the
review.
post. Can we please confirm?
Hit the post, the umpire's saying.
Score review. Umpire's call is behind. Hit the post. Can we please just confirm?
I think Trent McKenzie was there as well. I think he straight away reacted in the goal square to say hit the post as well.
As the ball changed trajectory, Harvey Norman replay.
And there's Snicko.
The Snicko's got him.
But that was a bloody unbelievable bit of play by Chol, wasn't it?
It was exceptional.
Just the big man brushed the little man off on the left boundary, the Eddie Betts pocket.
It's a behind. That's one of the best you'll see, but it's a behind. Harvey Norman replay. Get your tax time essentials at Harvey Norman shop in store or online. So Port lead it by 10 points, but I tell you what, the Suns are really bringing something.
Scholl just does some amazing work at ground level for an absolute moose of a man. He's huge, and he turned that ball around from the pocket. Remarkable effort, even as Yatesy said, it was a behind. Now Dixon's pressed down to try and help out from the kick in. Makes a nice mark. Heads towards Marshall. It's a nice battle there as well with Sam Collins. Sam Collins is becoming one of the best defenders in the comp.
That's how good Todd Marshall's going at the moment as well. Collins has gone to him as the best defender matchup. He hasn't gone to Dixon today, he's gone to Marshall. So it's the respect that the Gold Coast have for Todd Marshall and his season that he's put together so far.
Umpires had a little meeting between them just to work out as a throw-in. Everyone else could see that from miles away, but no need for zoom there. Now, that is just brilliant from Took Miller as he goes through to Swallow and then ends up with Ainsworth. Ainsworth drives into attack to ball to advantage. Very well done from Aaliyah. Did a great job. McKenzie helps out. Quick hands in tight. And Dersma gets back, but they're not out of trouble just yet. In dispute at the top of the 50. And immediately set upon some great tackling pressure from Swallow.
That's the difference, that last stoppage. Took Miller running and then hand passing, taking 50 metres and kicking along compared to the first quarter where they're just hack kicking it.
So Port Adelaide, they're being found out a bit in this ruck setup at the moment, aren't they? The way that Witts is able to really get some dominance. They go inside 50 again. Aaliyah had the big fist. Roses trying to gather. Rowell did gather. Handball. Flanders wrapped up in an aim-on tackle. Oh, it's getting real tight and tough. He's wrapped up. And we'll have a ball up.
Witts versus Power Pepper at the moment. He's just dominating him. And imagine if you had a rucked against a little midfielder, Biggles, you might have been an okay player.
And he's just done it again. He's done it easily. A little handball off. It was straight out of the ruck. And Roses, check side. Wonderful goal. Back into the team this week, Malcolm Roses, and he has nailed one. The Gold Coast are coming. 4-6-30, they now only trail by 4 points on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
What happens now is the Gold Coast mids get around Witsy and they say, where can you get the ball? You can grab it and you can hit it wherever you want. So they've been really proactive. And Port are going to be just chasing, whereas the Port Adelaide players need to get around and say, all right, we need to be, we need to have body on our player and expect we're going to either lose a tap or we're going to tackle Witsy when he grabs it.
Well, we flagged it pre-game, didn't we, that he's potentially the All-Australian ruckman this year versus no ruckman this week. So Port Adelaide are going to have to look to change something here. Dixon's in the middle at the moment to take it, but is it worthwhile throwing Aaliyah in there? I know he's so valuable down in defence, but they can't continue on this path because Witts, he's clearly best on ground for me at the moment out there.
Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe for Seabus Super. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. We're back in the middle. The Suns are within 4 points for McDonald's and Ream. Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy. Winds out of the middle for Port Adelaide as Dixon's in the ruck contest. Pau Pepper, he gathered, he's wrapped up, he's done. Flanders, really big tackle. We'll head to Sam Jacobs shortly as the Suns, they're trying to stream out of defence. It's going to the boundary and it's out for Bob Jane T-Marts by 3. Get one free and instant cash back on Bridgestone, Goodyear, Yokohama, Michelin, Dunlop and many more. BobJane.com.au. Source Jacobs.
Yeah, you don't see it too much these days, but the big fella Witts was running and come off. They turned him around and said, big fella, get back out of the centre bounce. You're dominating at the moment.
He doesn't have much time on the interchange, Witts. He loves grinding through like a big Clydesdale. He's in red-hot form. From the stoppage again, they push forward. Holman had a look at it, overran it. And we get a boundary throw in half forward for the Suns.
It's funny that Source said that you don't get turned around too often. It used to happen to me a fair bit, Shorty. I used to get told I was on fire and to go back out there.
Just give it 5 minutes, he'll tell you how he had 50-odd disposals in the Sandford game as well.
Oh, tickets, Rockcliffe.
For our audience. Ball got through the back. Miller was good. Jumped on it. High ball to Casbolt. McKenzie with a nice spoil. Burton's hands were clever. Just put in the path there of Dersman, but his kick wasn't exactly what the desired intent was meant to be. That's not deliberate, surely. No. Good boundary throw in. 4-point lead to the Power. Triple M J Liquor scoreboard.
The other thing you're seeing right now is in the first quarter it was 3 goals, 1-0, and you're like, oh, the old Gold Coast will just fall away and die. This is a new team. They're actually a contested team and they're willing to fight, and you're seeing the new breed of player now at Gold Coast. They're men and they want to fight back.
Throw in. Sean Burgoyne, he touched on that pre-game. He said that was the difference. They're men and they stand over the ball now, and that's what they're doing. Big tackle, Port Adelaide. Advantage paid. His losses of footy here, Raymond. And so of Port Adelaide. Ellis sends a high long ball. Holman! Gee, went back with some courage. Couldn't take it. Rosa sweeping through. Couldn't get possession. Here's Dersma for Port Adelaide. Looking for but not finding a teammate. Markov sends a long high ball in there for the Suns. Rankin, he's got 3 to beat. He's done it! Rankin beat 3 of them! He's kicked the goal! That's extraordinary stuff. They're in front. They lead it by 2 points, the Suns, and Rankin, some magic. It's 5-6-36 Suns. Port Adelaide 5-4-34. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor with good food deserves a great drop. Sean Burgoyne and Tommy Rockcliffe, well, maybe beat 2 of them. Might have got a bit excited. Still a good effort.
He did very well. He just held his ground in the contest and then crumbed it on the Harvey Norman replay. And we've just seen Jared Witts. He went to come off again. He's gassed, but they've sent him back out there and said, we're right in this game. You need to stay out there. And they've turned this game on its head. We said that if they got to quarter time and they could hit the reset button and get their game going, which they have, that they're dominating contested possession now. They're plus 10 on Port Adelaide, and we know Port Adelaide's game falls away when they start to lose that stat.
The Gold Coast Suns are in front. The first time today for McDonald's Arena Hot Water, Triple M Rocks football, and they are coming. Look at him go through Rao, tried to bust through, flips to Bonner, and sends a dart into half forward, and Georgiades was good in the contest against Ballard. Those long arms of his. He's called to play on. He's still 55 from home. Marshall stumbled, and the kick was to his advantage, but he just lost his footing, and the ball goes out of bounds. We get a boundary throw in.
He's such a good player, Sam Collins. I just watched him off the ball then, and Todd Marshall was trying to get some separation, and he just played him perfectly, kept his arms out as arm bars and didn't let him move anywhere.
Tommy Rockcliffe there with Sean Burgoyne today. Silk and the Pig thrown in. Rucks go at it. Witts again. Now free kick, Pau Pepper. Yeah, he was trying to sweep through the contest. And Swallow just had the arm wrapped around. He'll go back and have a shot.
But this is what they need to do. Look, Pau Pepper just runs through. He may or may not get it, but it makes the opposition midfielders and defenders twitchy, so they grab. And they haven't won many taps because Witts has been on fire, but you still got to be proactive, don't you, as a midfielder?
Yeah, you do. On the Harvey Norman replay there, Swallow just grabbed Sam Pau Pepper's jumper, and the free kick's there, and Port Adelaide all of a sudden really need this goal.
So he's going to the city end, 45-degree angle, about 45 metres out as he releases. Just pushes away to the left a bit. And it's a minor score, so Suns lead it by a point. 5-6-36 plays Port, 5-5-35. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard, second term, 16 minutes in.
Markov just bolted out of the goal square and drives a long ball to the outer wing. The contest forms. Burton tries to rip it out of there, but can't do so.
And they've just allowed Witsy off for his rest.
Finally, the big man gets a spell. The big Clydesdale gets to get his snout right in the water trough and freshen up. He's been doing an incredible job so far. As we said, favourite for the All-Australian position. No mean feat, that one. So the ball's flipping around. Wines tries to bust through. Gives it to his partner in crime, Travis Boat, who's set upon. So 7 wins from 6 losses, in line for their first ever finals appearance, the Gold Coast Suns. This means the world to them this match. And Finlayson was blocked out. It's going to get a free kick, 75 from home. That left foot of his sort of kicks it at a slight angle. Marshall protected the spot, but Georgiades again is hitting the ball at his highest peak and takes a nice mark in front of goal.
What a good kick to advantage that was. Both the Gold Coast players were on the other side of the Port players, and Finlayson saw it. There was good connection between both the forwards, and the kicker puts it out in front.
15 gone.
Georgiades averaging almost 1 goal a game. He sits 15th in the AFL for marks on the lead. This one looks very gettable for him. The pressure is on though with a 1-point lead to the Suns. Can he put Port Adelaide back in front? Yes, he can. He's got 2. And here the Port Army, good crowd in attendance here. 6-5-41 the Power, 5-6-36 the Suns. Margin back to 5. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. IJ Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
You just mentioned Georgiades is one of the best marks on the lead in the AFL. Whereas on Ballard, I think he's ranked number 1 for intercept marks in the AFL. So either he gets used and marks it, and if not, it gets kicked over his head and Ballard gets back and marks it. So that's how important that role is right there, and he's got to make the most of it, because if he's not going to get used, he's got to clamp down on Ballard.
Yeah, just a really good play then on the Harvey Norman replay from Finlayson. You spoke about the kick. He just put it out to the beautiful space, and Georgiades took the mark, but Marshall was coming in behind and he could have marked it as well. So really good play from Port Adelaide and a much needed goal.
Game on here at the Adelaide Oval. Port by 5 points for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy, 41-36. Ruck contest. Boak out of midair, socketed forward. Suns, here's Davies, had it smothered. Need a little handball. Farrell can't get clean possession. Ainsworth came in. Porter got some numbers. Bonner, nice handball. Got it to Powell Pepper. Sends a high long ball in. Going to be a 2-on-2. Georgiades! Nice stretch again. And Graham just was not able to get any fist on it. He's tucked into the left forward pocket. City and Georgiades. It'll be a snap around scenario. He's kicked a couple already.
Play on.
Goes around, snaps, hit it a bit fat, and just a small one only. So they're out by a full goal. Port Adelaide, 6 points their lead. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard, second term, nearly 19 minutes gone.
Mitch Georgiades, he can do that. He can nail one straight through the middle like his last kick and then put the next one nearly out on the full.
Markov looked to kick long and then just shape the ball, very clever. And Miller at half-back, always kicked to Ainsworth, really asked a lot of Ainsworth, who's up for the task. Took out 2 players when flying for the ball, or is that collateral damage for those 2? Dersma, he's got one right in the plums. He needs to readjust. And I think Marshall's down alongside of him as well. That could be some serious carnage.
Dersma's making his way to the boundary. He's got hold of
it. You shouldn't laugh.
He's just counting it to make sure they're both still there.
Yeah.
Haven't squashed one.
Does the old Mr. Magoo walk off the field? Was walking with a half run, the poor fella. We'll get back to you with that. Source Jacobs will give us an update. He's a specialist in that area.
Out of the contest, they try and work it forward here. Port Adelaide, G. Dixon, he was contacted heavily. Motlop gave the handball to Boak in space. Rao pushed him in the back, no free kick. Oh, the fans are filthy on that. Collins.
Yeah, Dixon there for the easy hand pass right in front of him.
Sean Burgoyne there with Tom Rockcliffe today for Seabus Super. Here's Flanders. Tucked in the right back pocket for the Suns. Gee, some nice body pressure off the mark too by Ainsworth. Oh, gee, tangling up the field. They fell over together, both Jonas and Casbolt. The Suns still scramble it forward. Houston coming through. Nice little handball by Burgess to Ainsworth to Roses. Little over the top chipper for Child. Feeding back, takes the mark. And Mabiol will go back. Not much angle, about 25 to 30 metres out.
3 decisions that they're not happy with. First of all, the push in the back to Boak. Then there was the manning of the mark over there where the guy on the mark was interfered. And then the Port Adelaide player pushed over in the wing, so the fans aren't happy.
They'll be less happy if Joel goals. He's really been lively. Port by 6 points. This to just level things up. Cathedral End, very relaxed approach, and he nails it. And the old double Cobra flex Biggles. He's got 3 for the day, Joel, has he? We've got another situation with a review here.
What can we think, see if the ball hit the post?
The ball hit the post.
Another one.
Call is a goal. Can you please confirm if it hit the post?
Don't let the snicko get him again. He got done earlier in the
It went straight through the middle, didn't it?
Well, the goal umpire's standing 1 metre from the goalpost, and he's called for a review. Just back yourself in, mate.
He's got Snicko again.
Oh.
Well.
It's been done twice.
I tell you what, extraordinary stuff. That's a point.
Get him back to the Dersma injury down there. Biggers, what would you do? Deep heat or ice?
Rub a bit of deep heat on, just kill the pain. Certainly wouldn't come off though, would you?
He caught one in the, what do you say, in the...
There are some furry bits on that ball, no doubt about it, because that touched the post and it was nowhere near it. The lacing on the ball must be made of fur. It's ridiculous. How was that a touched post? But anyway, we'll get on with it. And the mark in defensive 50 there from Jonas. Did a great job getting back with flight, intercepting mark. Now Bonner is hemmed into the back pocket. They're going to try and get out of this with a slow play. Here's Willem Drew. What are his options? Had 7 clearances last week, Willem Drew. Brilliant game against the Swannies. So he just dumps it. And the only player who had eyes on the footy was Georgiades. He's getting back to his best. He got some hang time. Had the handball back. He had the runner in Bonner. And now he has Boak alongside of him. They're linking up easily here. Here's Motlop. Back into the team. He just dobs one up. Jones has got to look at it. Couldn't quite bring it down. Nice late sport. Pepper overruns it. It's bobbling around. Finlayson back to Jones. Already got 1 goal. Has a snap on. It's not going to get the journey. It's going to land in the goal square and in the lap of Bowes, who was getting back to save the day for the Suns.
So 5-point lead. Oh, Bowes confused. Gee, sold his teammate into some real trouble, and Collins, he's going to keep it in just. It's fisted out of play, but comedy of errors there by the Suns. Let's head to Source Jacobs for Bob Jane T-Buts.
Yeah, boys, the doctors and the physios are both done the count with the X-Man, and he's a little bit sore, but he's about to come back on, and also Toddy Marshall's fine as well. He's got a bit of a sore head, but he'll be okay.
Oh, great stuff. Sam Jacobs on the boundary for Bob Jane T-Buts today. Ball deep, 50 here for Port Adelaide. Dixon trying to get busy, but he's wrapped up. Wines, he's tackled as well, and we'll have a ball up inside the attacking 50 here for the Power. They lead it by 5 points. Nearly 24 gone second term.
So Dixon runs straight at Chol. Chol did a great job to get up early with a hit to the defensive side, but plenty of players around the footy.
Really good game of footy. This is what we expected coming here today, and both teams are right in this contest, and it's game on.
5-point lead to the Power. Just out from their goal. Dixon shoved Chol out, tried to kick it. And Collins relieves the pressure, dumps one out to defensive 50. Ainsworth got Frederick to beat, can't do it. Burton helped out to Jones for Port. Miller was front and centre, did it well. Nice crumb. Miller gets it back in the 1-2, getting plenty of it. Bonner just came through and intercepted at the perfect time. Pepper. Tackling pressure is huge. Farrell. Oh, the slip catch. Was it paid? No, yes.
It was.
Charlie Dixon diving to the left, although it wasn't in the slip because he was in the gully. Beautiful catch.
Is it Oz kick?
I want to see the Harvey Norman replay from Farrell on the left. He balked his opponent because he dropped it, and then he kicked it to advantage of Dixon, who was playing slips.
He's kicked it barrel.
The amount of talent in Farrell's left foot and the IQ to see it and then kick it in front.
The big Chaz normally plays pretty well against the Suns. Averages 2 goals, 3 every time he plays against his old side. And that is a shank. Bad miss from that spot on the ground. Important goal. Minus score. So 6-7-43 the Power. 5-7-37 the Swans. A margin of 6 points. Triple MIJ with the scoreboard.
Oh, Marshall, nice little take in a one-on-one inside 50. Jones had a couple to beat, couldn't do it, but it's going to be a chance for Farrell again. He took the mark outside 50.
He's got it. He's got it in him.
Can go this range. So Farrell, he will be going from 55 at least when he unloads. But he's got a cannon on him, we know that. Port by 6 points. City end goal. Gets a little bit of extra meterage. It's coming back. It's right there. We might have a review situation. We've got a review situation.
I believe it's a goal. Can you please check who's touched on the line?
Umpire's call is a goal. There were 5 Suns on the line. Oh, there's not much in this. Is that ball fully across?
Oh, it's touch and go.
It's not across the line, is it? It's past the behind post, but is it across the actual line?
I think that's across. You can see the post through the on that side of the ball.
Shawnee Burgoyne talking with his Port Adelaide eye at the moment.
I reckon it's the Velcro.
No?
It's the Velcro on the post that's robbed him.
So, our third review on the Harvey Norman. Our third point. Extraordinary stuff here at the Adelaide Oval. Port lead it by 7 points. Triple MIJ Liquor scoreboard.
We talk about IQ. Isaac Rankin was trying to get ready for the stand rule and get across, but he stood on the right side instead of the left side. You've got to know your opposition players.
Well, this game's got everything so far. Trent McKenzie takes a strong mark for Port Adelaide. Back in the team, had some concussion issues and, of course, a nasty knee injury which kept him out for a long time. Had a quick stint in the sandful. McKenzie up against his old side, of course. So now Port Adelaide just look to calm things down a little bit. Houston's in the centre of the ground. See something he likes in the pocket for Dixon direction. Farah did well in front of Dixon. That was courageous. Dixon tried to bust through. Handball out. Oh, Dursman was set upon. He was a little bit wobbly, wasn't he? Not clever with the ball in hand. And now the Suns trying to reload. Ellis was good. They've got numbers out.
Chance here for Burgess. Turns and goes. He's got Chol feeding back. That's a free no, says the umpire. So he and Aliir were in a bit of a tangle. Look at Stewie Dew on the Harvey Norman. He's got the hands out asking what? Why? There's no free kick. Port Adelaide have got it. Deep in defence with Houston. Just having a look at Xavier Dersmer off the footy there. He's built tough like Ream Hot Water. Built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a Ream. Here's Farrell across half back for the Power.
Having a good game. Farrell, 11 disposals, and 1 goal, 2 already. So in the Marshall one-on-one contest, had Collins as well, had him beaten. Good enough to bring it to ground. Jones's hands were okay. Tried to put it in the path out there of Mead, who couldn't quite keep his feet. Now back to the wing. Oh, Rankin.
Wow.
Rankin's gather and dish was just sublime. And now the runners come. Anderson's one of those. He assessed his options and had plenty of time, and the delivery was spot on. And Ainsworth in the forward pocket for the Suns line up for a very gettable shot at goal.
On the Harvey Norman replay there, Noah Anderson he treaded his water a little bit and waited for the lead to happen. Aliir was in really good position, but he ticked back up and uncontested mark, lay down inside 50, which was a really good play and a good finish.
Ben Ainsworth was one of 4 players to kick 3 goals last week, lining up for his first today. Good Gold Coast cheer squad behind the goals will tell us the story if they like it or not, and he misses. Didn't give it enough to come back. So the margin back to 6 points in favour of the Power. Triple MIJ Liquor scoreboard.
Looking at the hardball gets, boys, on the Red Z Lending stats. 29-19 the Gold Coast way. Winning the clearances as well. As Port Adelaide bring the footy back in. Burton, but it's going to come back. Miller for the Suns, tumbles it inside 50. Going to the Cathedral end here at the Adelaide Oval. Houston tried to take him on. Dersmer under some real pressure, had a little fumble. Ellis over him, wraps him. He's done. Dersmer, was he looking for a replacement ball? He was just sort of sitting over there.
Thank you. I think he's had two efforts since he's come back on, and I think he's a bit worried about the crown jewels at the moment. He coughed up the first one, then he had a big fumble then.
That's how important ground balls are. You've got to take them. If not, you fumble and the opposition swoop in straight away, and then he just fell on it.
Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe on Triple M footy. Terrific stuff from our stars for Seabus Super. So Brandon Ellis, he's the recipient of the free kick. He sort of, did he go the whole journey? It was touched. He didn't quite have the juice behind it. It looked like a bit of an in-betweener. And it's a minor score. So Port lead it. It's a 5-point buffer on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard.
Brandon Ellis just getting some constructive criticism from the Port Adelaide faithful in the forward pocket. Went back for a second dose as well after the kick. So now from the kick in, Port Adelaide have built the wall. Numbers have come up, Drew trying to provide the pressure. Lemons couldn't gather. Motlop also putting the heat on. Oh, immediately dumped Ainsworth over the top of Rosie and he's back. No, we'll have a ball up. Power by 5. Let's go down to Source Jacobs, the Bob Jane teammates.
It's no surprise with the ruck situation, boys, but when it's a game of transition, that's when Port are getting back on top. Gold Coast really want to slow it down and turn it into a stoppage game.
Speaking of the ruck, Witts did it again. Grabbed it, hacked it forward. He didn't go too far. We get a boundary throw in just in front of where Source Jacobs is setting up. The former Giant and Adelaide Crow, dominant big man, knows his craft. So 5-point lead to Port Adelaide. Suns got their nose in front briefly in this second term. Of course, I've won 5 of the last 6, the Suns. In ripping form. Now Swallow over the back as it flipped through. Opportunity 30 out from goal. No one could take the mark. Burgess trying to rip it out, but we'll get another ball up. 16 seconds left in the half.
Red Z lending stats. Tuke Miller's had a huge quarter, up to 11 disposals, and he's been one that's got him going.
And 24 tackles, is it, Rocky, for the Suns this quarter to Port 14. They really look to have upped the ante in that area as the ball spills around. Working hard, Ellis. Time ticking away. Not long left. Is there one last chance? Chol wrapped up. And there it is. It's half-time here at the Adelaide Oval. And Port, they have a 5-point lead. It is 6-8-44 Port Adelaide. The Suns are 5-9-39. We'll hear from Sean Burgoyne and Tommy Rockcliffe about the opening half. Port Adelaide with a 5-point lead for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M, good times.
Sounds like this in the morning.
I've been bullied into coming back to work because I see it as a sign of weakness.
Good times in the Arvos.
Sounds like this.
Saw my fruit salad and he went, "Oh, have a look at that little beauty."
And more of the greatest hits while you work.
Sounds like this. Adelaide's
Good times and greatest hits. 104.7
Triple M. How can you be distinctive? What if your big block, the one you bought with a large backyard, was subdivided by you? With high demand for land, you can step ahead of the rest by subdividing and rebuilding with distinctive homes. Be inspired by our online catalogue. From 40 top designs, you can pick all your favourite elements to create your dream distinctive home. Come and meet the team or view the online catalogue at distinctivehomes.com.au.
It's time for tackling claims with RAA Comprehensive Car Insurance. We've seen some big bumps out there. Rushed behinds. And white line fever in car parks.
Watch out for the trolley!
But while people hit the post, the team at RAA Insurance tackle the claims right here in SA. Get an RAA Comprehensive Car Insurance quote today and
keep on moving on.
T's and C's apply. Consider the PDS and TMD. Product issued by RAA Insurance. Available from RAA.
Everybody loves their country.
I'm John Miller from Harcourt's Real Estate. What turns browsers into buyers is that wow factor. And there's nothing that brings instant appeal quite like the unique elegance of plantation shutters. For a highlight that adds value and lifts the look of any home, there's no better investment.
Improve, invest and add value with quality plantation shutters by Country. Visit countryblinds.com.au for a free measure and quote.
Because everybody loves their country.
At Peter Shearer Menswear, for a limited time, buy any item and we'll give you any second item half price. Mix all brands and all styles, including new season winter stock. Buy any Cambridge suit and get a second half price. Refresh your Boston shirts and get a second half price. Buy any Daniel Hester sports coat and get your Aquila chinos half price. Shop in store and online. Always at Peter Shearer Menswear. Rundle Mall, Glenelg, Mount Barker and new store in Gawler. petershearer.com.au. T's and C's apply.
You even know what time it is?
Yeah, it's tax time. You know what that means? It's party time.
Tax time! It's party time! The Festival of Big Brands is on now at Toolkit Depot. AEG 18-volt 9-piece fusion combo kit, just $1,999. With bonus framing nailer kit redemption worth $899. Plus 15% off all hard yakka workwear, including boots. More deals in store and online. Toolkit Depot, your ultimate tax time destination.
Solar Power's what we do best. Call today, don't delay. With quality products that beat the rest. With Town and Country Solar.
With concerns about power outages and power prices going through the roof, now's the time to save big on a home battery system. But you better hurry. Town and Country Solar have less than 100 units available right now. To secure a home battery system today, just contact Town and Country Solar before they're all gone.
Town and Country Solar.
Triple M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Sterling Homes. Whether your budget is the size of a ruck or a rover, Sterling Homes can design a custom home for you.
Oh, they certainly can. Sterling Homes. It's Port Adelaide by 5 points at halftime. It's 6-8-44. The Suns are 5-9-39 for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy, and of course it is our halftime break for Sterling Homes. Whether your budget is the size of a ruck or a rover, Sterling Homes can design a custom home for you. We've got the stars in the box checking this one out. We've got Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe. Gee, lads, what a second quarter that was. Port lead it at the turn by 5 points, but the Suns have brought some heat.
Yeah, really good game of footy. We spoke about it in the pre-game. We thought it'd be a high-pressure game. They're both highly ranked in that stat, and it certainly lived up to that in that quarter. The Gold Coast started the game a little bit slow, but once they kicked in a gear, they were really impressive then. And then we spoke about Witts in the ruck. He doesn't really have an opponent. It's Finlayson, it's Dixon, it's Power Pepper, and that's where Gold Coast got on top. He was hitting it down to Miller and these guys around the contest, and they really kicked into gear in that second quarter.
Well, he tried to stamp his authority on the game in the start of that quarter where he was just trying to grab the ball out of the ruck inside 50s, and that just, set the trend for the rest of the game. They wanted to dominate the stoppages, and I think they're only leading by three clearances, but they got bang for buck out of that, and Port Adelaide just came a bit more stagnant, and I don't think they scored until after halfway through that quarter, and they're very reactive. So it's going to be very interesting to see what messages go in at half-time, because they need to change around the structure, because the Gold Coast mids were very proactive around and on the move, and Port weren't.
The disappointing thing from a Port Adelaide perspective watching that second quarter was when they had it on their terms in the opening quarter and there was free flow and they were running and there was no pressure coming back, they were waltzing in and doing as they liked. And Rocky, I think you said Suns haven't turned up today like in that opening quarter. That was the sort of energy that was against them. But the moment the Suns sort of turned the screws a bit, Port Adelaide haven't found that next thing to do. So what is that next thing they need to do to start really putting a gap on the Suns again in this second half? Yeah,
Gold Coast turned up and they were as flat as a bushman's hat there at the start in the first 15 minutes. But once they got their game going, they were really good. And I think Port Adelaide need to work out what they're doing at stoppage now. It hasn't hurt them yet, but I think if that continues the way it did in that second quarter, then they're going to be up against it.
I think they also need to change their mindset, as we do, because people we will refer to Gold Coast as what they used to be in the past, a team that would just fall away, but that's not this team. They're actually stronger now, and they actually fight back, and they want to make the most of the opportunities, and they put an emphasis on contested balls. So that's how they got back into this, around the stoppages. Port Adelaide got away to that good start, and then maybe thought, this is going to be an easy day here, and Gold Coast come straight back in and then take the game on.
One of the differences we're seeing with the Gold Coast at the moment is their cohesion, isn't it? They've just got a real trust in each other because they've got a good balance of youth and experience, and the positivity which came out of the club as well this week. Jack Lukosius signing a 4-year deal extending to 2026, the top 5 draft pick from 2018. So they're really putting, of course he's out at the moment with that knee, but the build they've got and the trust that they've got in each other at the moment you're seeing on field?
Well, they made a change at quarter time. They got their forwards up, and they told their mids, we want to run with the ball first. So they got their forwards up, and then like we saw with the Took Miller incident where he got the ball and ran from stoppage, and then they had all that space in forward 50 instead of having their 6 forwards stay back. So they changed it up at quarter time, and you saw that, and they were running with the ball a lot more before they kicked it and using the numbers around. So clear change, and that's a sign of a team that's maturing, where a coach can give an instruction and you can change mid-quarter.
So what instructions would Ken be giving around the structural changes that you're talking about, Silk and Rocky? What are they looking to do around stoppage in particular?
Well, I think at stoppage, they've just got to be more defensive and make sure they start it from a body. And it's really hard when you've got a dominant ruckman. And we spoke about Witts pre-game, but he's up to 10 contested possessions, 5 clearances for the game. So they need to compete in the ruck, whether it be wrestling or try and jump into him a little bit. That they need to try something a little bit different at the stoppage. And Gold Coast, we spoke about being a territory team, so if they start to get on top at clearance and the ball lives in their front half, they're certainly right in this game. And I think for Port Adelaide, they're going to have to find a way to nullify Witts' influence at stoppage.
It's a half-time break for Sterling Homes. Port Adelaide lead it by 5 points. Whether your budget is the size of a ruck or a rover, Sterling Homes can design a custom home for you.
Is there a stage in this second half where the pressure can really get to Port Adelaide in terms of the result? Because they need to win 6, possibly 7 of their last 9 games to stitch up a finals berth.
Well, it could. It could, 100%. Well, Gold Coast are a pressure team. They put pressure on the ball at the source. They don't allow, they do not try to allow you to run out of stoppage. So they put pressure on it, and that just builds and builds because you're under pressure the whole time and you're hacking the ball instead of building it up by marks. So if that pressure continues and the crowd get involved, mentally players start chatting to themselves as well. So it depends on the pressure that Gold Coast are going to apply.
I think it does, because you look at Port Adelaide's draw from here. They've got Freo next week over there, the Giants, then Melbourne, Geelong and Collingwood. So they have to win this game, and they'd know that they've just got to continue to win games of footy. So if the Gold Coast come out with the same energy that they brought in that second quarter, then Port Adelaide need to find a response and start to lift and go to another gear. And if they want to play finals footy, these are the games that they've got to win.
And what's Stewie Jew's message to his troops at half-time, do you think, on the back of their turnaround in that quarter?
Well, that's the effort he wants. He wants consistent effort. He doesn't want to wait until they're 3 or 4 goals down and then get them in at quarter time and say, well, this is what we want to do. You spend all week getting ready for the game, and then you rock up in the first 10 minutes, like we said, and they just didn't bring anything. So he's going to say, that's the attitude we want, they're the behaviours we want, and we want to continue that.
Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe. Hey, Rocky, what about thanks to Fielders for your fencing needs this footy season? Key player matchup, what are we looking for in the second half?
Yeah, I think it comes back to that ruck battle. For Gold Coast, if they're going to win this game, it's going to be Witts' dominance, and if it's Port Adelaide to win the game, they're going to have to find a way to nullify him. So if it's Finlayson, Dixon or Power Pepper, whichever one's in the ruck at that time, I think they're going to have to find a way to nullify his influence, particularly in the hit-outs that get out into space.
It's that time of day, the Amy Clanger, who covers clangers on and off the field. Amy does. Here's our clanger from the opening half. Amon measures it nice into Willem Drew.
Drew's got multiple options. He's going to go long to Jones. Probably not the best choice because Dixon was out. It spills over the back. Georgiades picks up the Brothers. He got boots the ball right on the goal line. He misses.
You've just got to give that handball. Yeah, Charlie Dixon standing on the goal line by himself.
Wanting the ball. Easy Scully lever kick.
Oh, there he is, Red Bigland's featuring. I did like when I threw to the clanger, everyone looked straight at Biggles as if to say, is he on again? But he features in a different realm this time. Terrific call, Biggers. Barley with Biggers, keep an eye out for that. Let's go around the grounds for RAA. Ensure with the locals today. Collingwood, they lead by 33 points over the Suns, and earlier today it was the Crows home by 57 points over the Kangaroos. It's half-time here at the Adelaide Oval. Port by 5 points for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That halftime break for Sterling Homes. Whether your budget is the size of a ruck or a rover, Sterling Homes can design a custom home for you.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
If we're going to stop violence against women, then we need to instill the importance of respect in our kids from an early age. So we're calling on all parents, all coaches, family, friends, everyone to kickstart positive and ongoing conversations about respect, Biggles.
No doubt about it. For more information and conversation starters, visit respect.gov.au. Violence against women, let's stop it at the start. A message from the Australian Government, Canberra.
Triple M's No Talk Day.
Hey, this is Jimmy Barnes.
Hello, this is Bruce Springsteen.
It's not soft to ask for help. The most courageous thing I ever did was look for someone to talk to.
Many people don't see themselves as having depression or anxiety.
Depression ran in my family. My only advice would be don't be afraid to seek out help wherever you can find it.
For tips on spotting the signs and symptoms, visit beyondblue.org.au.
If I hadn't have phoned people in my life, I was going to be dead.
Triple M's No Talk Day is Monday, July 4.
At Peter Shearer Menswear, buy any item and score any second item half price. Choose from all brands and styles, including new season winter stock. Shop in store and online. Always at Peter Shearer Menswear. 4 locations, new store in Gawler. petershearer.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Pushing the boundaries of innovation, Steel has been voted Australia's most trusted brand of outdoor garden power tools. I'm talking chainsaws, trimmers, blowers, and all the leading brand mowers. And at Steel Shop Fulham, they stock them, service them, and you can buy them using Zip Pay or Afterpay. Steel Shop Fulham, family owned and awarded SA Metro Dealer of the Year. Get the full battery and petrol range at Steel Shop Fulham.
It's time for Tackling Claims with RAA Home and Contents Insurance. We've seen some rainmakers and Hail Marys. Oh, the roof! Questionable free kicks. And some big steals.
Oh, they took the TV.
But while people hit the woodwork, the team at RAA Insurance tackled the claims right here in SA. Get an RAA Home and Contents Insurance quote today and
Keep on moving on.
T's and C's apply. Consider the PDS and TMD. Product issued by RAA Insurance. Available from RAA.
When you want an outdoor blind, you want a quality blind that keeps the heat in and the cold out. You want... Can we, shut the blind? That's better, thanks. You want effortless automation. A blind that's there 1 minute and gone the next. For protection from wind and rain all year round, you want Phantom screens. SA-made outdoor motorised blinds that can span up to 12 metres wide. phantomscreens.com.au. There 1 minute, gone the next.
Made with Australian steel, Basic Trailers make quality trailers right here in SA. They're great trailers for a tax write-off before the end of the financial year. Visit basictrailers.com.au. Basic Trailers. Bigger, better, stronger.
At Peter Shearer Menswear, buy any item and score any second item half price. Choose from all brands and styles, including new season winter stock. Shop in store and online. Always at Peter Shearer Menswear. 4 locations, new store in Gawler. petershearer.com.au. T's and C's apply.
If you're an RAA member, visit Lordman & Pank and get $100 off prescription glasses and prescription sunglasses when purchased as a complete pair. Offer ends July 17. Minimum spend $350. Exclusions and T's and C's apply. Lordman & Pank. We care for eyes.
104.7 Triple M News.
Hello, Emma Griffiths at your news briefing. The Deputy Liberal leader has labelled the decision by the US Supreme Court to overturn the historic Roe v. Wade ruling on abortion as a step backwards for women. The decision allows some American states to ban abortions, with some clinics already closing in the wake of the ruling. Deputy Liberal leader Susan Lee has told Sky News these issues should be approached with sensitivity and respect.
This has been a step backwards for women in the US. I'm very discomforted by anything that puts a personal and sensitive issue that a woman has to grapple with in many instances, or a family has to grapple with, in the same sentence as criminal. And we absolutely should never do that.
Victoria Police have found a car connected to yesterday's gangland shooting of a former Mongols bikie. He's recovering in hospital after being shot at least 3 times while leaving a funeral in Melbourne's north. A Ford Territory carjacked by the gunman and an accomplice was discovered last night as a major manhunt continues. And the Treasurer is warning cost of living pressures will get even worse than expected. The Reserve Bank Governor last week predicted inflation will reach a 32-year high of 7%. Jim Chalmers has told the ABC it's only going to get more difficult.
Well, inflation will be significantly higher than what was expected in the last government's most recent budget, what was expected at election time as well. Certainly higher than the 5.1% we saw in the March quarter.
Moving home?
Don't do it alone. For every stage of life, Storage King has hassle-free storage solutions. Visit storageking.com.au today. The Kings of Storage, Moving and More.
Checking Adelaide's weather, mainly clear skies this evening, dropping down to 6 degrees tonight, partly cloudy tomorrow, 15, and same conditions for Tuesday. Our listener app is the new home of Triple M. Download now to listen live or on demand.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
Port Adelaide lead it at half-time by 5 points at 6:8:44 the Power. The Suns are 5-9-39 for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. We're about to head into our Beacon Trade third quarter, supporting tradies with over 120 stores nationwide, expert trade teams and exclusive trade services, a huge range of lights, fans and electrical accessories, making every tradie's job easier. Beacon Trade, let's make light work. Big team for this game. We've got Sean Burgoyne, Tommy Rockcliffe, Red Biglands, of course. We've got Sauce Jacobs on the boundary as well. What do you expect to see Rocky and Silk in the second half of this game?
I think it's going to be who can control dominance around those stoppages now. I think Port Adelaide were on top early around that, but Witt started to get going, and whoever wins that territory battle and locks it in their front half will win this game of footy. So I think the first 15 minutes of this third quarter will set the game up nicely.
Yeah, I agree. That territory battle now is going to be where it's won and lost, because once the team gets it inside 50 on either team, they're locking it in, they're getting repeat entries, and the pressure's building, and then they're the team that's normally scoring. So, you know, the Wits matchup now is key to this game.
So Wits has been absolutely dominant. From a Port Adelaide perspective, you said they're going to try and go a bit more defensive around the stoppage situation. Can you go too far, and then not be able to get your game going, or not?
Yeah, it's just taken away those dangerous players. I think Miller started to get aggressive on the move, and we've seen him come out of a few stoppages, shoulders out. So once you start to do that from stoppage, they need to force them to go back and try and go around Port Adelaide. Instead, if you come out of the front of a stoppage, it's a lot more dangerous than having to shape out the back with your hands and getting your wingers involved. So they just need to identify that and make sure that they force the Gold Coast Suns. Don't allow them to come out the front of the stoppage.
Just having a look at the middle, and it's going to be Finlayson in the ruck again. So they've got Rosie and Boak against Wits, who has been dominant, and Rowell for the Suns. We've got Took Miller and, of course, Noah Anderson. It's half-time, third quarter about to get underway. It's a lead of 5 points to Port Adelaide. It's 6:8:44. We've got the Suns at 5-9-39. And what are you seeing, Rocky?
Oh, the ball girl's just taking her time here. And the umpire's ready to bounce the ball, and she's still walking. She's about in the goal square now, in no rush whatsoever to get off the ground.
That's a first. That's the first I've seen that.
There we go. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy, and here's Red Biglands, the ball girl in position. Let's go.
The final 2 quarters of round 15 action here at the Adelaide Oval. And for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Finlayson sort of got it in the Rosie direction. A bit of a palm down in that regard. And now Houston off the back of the square as he's done all match. Oh, the one-handed catch, Dersma. Stuck out the sticky mitt. Pulled in a nice peach of a catch. They drive. Burton kicked it into the pocket. Georgiades with a scoop up. Nice take and deliver. Back to Bogu's. Going to have to be quick, he is. Dances around a couple. Dixon's thinking about having a ping on his left. What a goal. Can he do that on his left? The big man smashes it home. Charlie Dixon on the wrong side for a big fella. My God, how did he do that? Hawk at the first of the second half.
He dead set men that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Harvey Norman replay. Eddie Betts' pocket. There's something about that pocket in the left foot. He just wheeled onto the left and went bang. No score review. Very classy goal from Charlie Dixon.
I've seen 2 things in the space of 2 minutes. The first for me, the ball girl walking off very slowly, slowing up the game. And Charlie Dixon, I don't think that's his 300th career goal as well.
Spot on.
Dicko rolling on the left, 45 out in the boundary, slotting it.
Against his former club, 181 games, that is his 300th AFL goal, and Port Adelaide lead by 11 points. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services, and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
We're back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. I had a look at that ball girl through the binoculars too, boys. I'm wondering if she's been in Bali with biggers. She had that little sluggish walk about her of a week on the island.
Gold Coast.
We've got a mark or free kick. Suns have got it. Here's Holman, front edge of the centre square. Sends one in. There's some space for Casbolt to lead into. Takes it. Very nice mark from Levi.
Really good off the body work there by Levi. Got Mackenzie on the back foot with a push to the chest and then the kick out in front. An easy chest mark, but the hard work was done before that when he initiated contact.
So Holman, who delivered it in there, he's an important player for this club. This is a big kick for Casbolt. He got a nice one at this end earlier in the game. Kick on the way, likes it. They get it back quickly. So a couple of goals. Levi's got 2 for the night. Margin back to 5 points. Port Adelaide 7-8-50. We've got the Gold Coast 6-9-45. All that happening on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. We've got Sean Burgoyne, we've got Tommy Rockcliffe on Triple M footy.
Yeah, as Shawnee just said on the Harvey Norman replay, Casbolt did his work before the footy came in, and Mackenzie, who's only played 3/4 of sample footy in about 11 weeks, he came back and got knocked out in the sample, and then they've rushed him back this week with Cleary out. So that could be a match-up to watch. As the longer the game goes on, Mackenzie may become fatigued a lot quicker, and Casbolt might get hold of him.
Triple M Seabus super special comments there. Tom the Pig Rockcliffe and Sean Silk Burgoyne. Seabus super making hard work pay off. What a goal from Big Levi. We're seeing key forwards have a real impact in this third term. McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy. Wits with a forward hit. And they're starting to sweat on him now, and Miller just sockers one off the ground. Inside attacking 50 it goes. Holman holds it up. We'll get a ball up.
Thanks, Nick.
Starting to get aggressive in that centre bounce now. Wits is just whacking it forward, and their midfielders are getting on the move.
Yeah, looking for that offensive hit on the bolt. Now Drew tried to slice through, but was immediately set upon. He just whacks it forward. Anderson sweating out. And that was Ellis who got a kick. Goes in the nice direction of Chol, who tried to fire one off, but he did too much. He did, it was done. Trying to take on 2 of them. And now from the relieving kick, Wits is under all sorts of pressure. They come back inside attacking 50, and Ainsworth from the turnover ball. It was a great delivery there from Ballard, who lowered the eyes and spots up Ainsworth.
I think Trent McKenzie had won his time again. He took the advantage, and he was under all sorts of pressure on the Harvey Norman replay, and just dumped it out there to a 1-on-3 in favour of the Suns, and the ball came back inside 50.
So Ainsworth now for the Suns. He's second in the competition for forward 50 ground ball gets. Former pick number 4 from 2016 has not missed a game this year. Massive kick for the Suns. Gives it everything. He rides it home. Double fist pump, is it there? Wow. It is. The Suns respond. Margin back to a point on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Right, Rock, the decision to play on under pressure has come back to hurt him. You normally just give the guy to the free kick and leave it set up.
Yeah, Gold Coast are on the Red Z lending stats here. They've got their game going. Clearances, they're winning that 3-1 in this quarter, and inside 50, 4-1. So we spoke about that midfield and how they were going to nullify Wits' influence on the contest, and they can't stop it at the moment, Port Adelaide. So they may have to make a big, bold decision and put Alir in the ruck, or someone that can jump into Wits, because at the moment he's just getting up and over Finlayson in these centre square bounces.
Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Some great dissection of this game from Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe tonight on Triple M footy. For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy. The Suns lead it by a point, and they're out of the middle again. This time Bonner able to get the relieving mark. Sam Jacobs touched on earlier. This is the way Port Adelaide will want it, a bit of transition. So let's see what they can do from the back half. Carl Amon, of course, source on the boundary tonight for Bob Jane T-Marts. Buy 3, get 1 free. Instant cash back on Bridgestone, Goodyear, Yokohama, Michelin, Dunlop and many more. BobJane.com.au. Oh, Dixon had a bit of a fly as the footy works up towards centre wing. Here's Georgiades. He's kicking to a pretty open 50. Marshall in a one-on-one. Jones out the backs, kicked a ripper early on. Handball good to Mead. He was under some real heat. Bowes there. Gee, that'll nearly be out on the full. Must have been just above the knee. Underneath the old scoreboard, Cathedral End will have it thrown in. The Suns by a point.
16 and a half left in the third term. Great game of footy after Port. Fight out of the blocks in the first term. The Suns have fought back. There's something on the horizon here. Some history in the making for the Suns. They've never won at Adelaide Oval. There's a push out. Casbolt, a little overzealous. Shoves Dixon in the back. He's about 80 from home. Looks for Houston just to slip on by him and get a handball received, but Chol was awake. Now Dixon's going to dump it to the hot spot. Looking for the high flyers. Jones and Marshall. Oh, did he take enough? Or an arm chop? Gee whiz, how long did he hold that ball for, boys?
That's the second one we've seen paid today. Dixon got one in the second quarter and Marshall there hit his hands and they paid the mark. And Harvey Norman replay, he didn't have it for very long.
Not long. But again, advantage side kick, which where the forwards wanted it, was perfect. And he actually, if Marshall wasn't going to mark it, Jones was.
Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Get your tax time essentials at Harvey Norman. Shop in line or shop in store or online, of course. Now, Marshall, 71% goal kicking accuracy this year. Having career best year. No problem. He's in some ripping form, no doubt about it. He's got two. Port Adelaide get 8-8-56. The Suns are 7-9-51. Port Adelaide back in front by 5 points. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, really good from Port Adelaide then. They were able to get the footy inside 50 and then I think it was Dixon's delivery there to Marshall. Just found him, kicked it to advantage side and a really important goal for Port Adelaide because it felt like Gold Coast are starting to get on top and we speak about their defence and the pressure and the Gold Coast, they're out tackling Port Adelaide quite comfortably at the moment and on the Red Z lending stats, I think there's about 6 players without a tackle for Port Adelaide, so they need a lift in that area and Connor Rosie's one of them who's around the footy a fair bit.
Red Z lending loans for the self-employed. So Port Adelaide back in front. Couple of lead changes already in this third term for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. So Dixon in the ruck, but block against Dixon going to Witts. So they're going to win this clearance again. Dixon standing smack bang in the middle of the Adelaide Oval. Witts with a long left foot raking ball inside 50. Swallow. Mackenzie thought he took the mark. Play on the umpire called. Davies in there. Here's Jonas for Port Adelaide. Gets it working in the Dixon direction. Centre wing. Dixon tried to take on Witts with a bit of body. Georgiades had a bit of a stumble. Here's Bonner for Port Adelaide. Oh, gee, not a great kick by him. Swallow intercepted. Sends it in the Chol Aliir direction. Aliir! Too good. Able to get the footy in the defensive 50.
What a matchup that has been. Aliir and Chol going head-to-head all night, all afternoon if you like. Bit of twilight footy action from the Adelaide Oval. Good conditions. Bit of rain around early, but dry at the moment. Dixon starting to heat up. Getting a bit of mojo about him. And spears one in. Oh, Miller strong. His hands for a midfielder, Miller, they are so strong. He takes a very important mark. So if that comes to ground, there were so many Port Adelaide players sweating inside, attacking 50.
I reckon Port Adelaide have made the move here. They've put Willem Drew to Took Miller to try and nullify his influence around the contest.
Davies had an area for the Suns. Houston read it best. Took the mark. Now Mead, still inside the centre square, was trying to get it to Pepper, but overcooked it. Collins chips it off, and now they try and run the Suns on the outer side. They're going to work that outer side again. Ellis has provided the run, the two-time premiership star for the Tigers. Swings around as a ball to advantage. Has the mark been taken? It has. Casbolt in the pack of 3 other players. And he split it. Terrific contested mark from Levi.
Straight back. Great grab. He's the only one that went at the footy. He was on Riley Bonner and he sort of waited for the contact, but Casbolt just went for the footy and took a very good contested mark with Jonas coming across as well on the Harvey Norman replay.
So the oldest Gold Coast player on the park today, Levi Casbolt, already has 2 in the bag. His accuracy has improved over the journey, hasn't it? But this one just misses. Let off 7-10-52, the Suns, 8-8-56. Margin in favour of Port Adelaide by 4 points on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So Mackenzie with the bring-in. Port by 4 points. Beacon Trade scoreboard as Mackenzie is going to an interesting contest here. Georgiades, but front spot was Flanders, I think it was, for the Suns. It works to the line. Collins it may have been. Let's take you to Sam Jacobs for Bob Jane Team Arts.
We saw last week how dangerous the Gold Coast small forwards are, obviously with Rankin and Davies, but Davies is yet to touch it. Roses hasn't had a big impact, and neither's Rankin as well, so they need them to lift the Suns.
Good on your source, Sam Jacobs, for Bob Jane T-Marts tonight. Throw in. Port Adelaide by 4 points. It's at a half forward for the Suns.
Holding Gold Coast.
And free kick. Is this around the stoppage? So it's going to Anderson. And Port were just worried about their players around stoppage, given the disadvantage in the ruck. This is a beautiful ball. Port Adelaide not a weight to swallow, who had space. Tommy Rockcliffe, Sean Burgoyne. Oh, he's going to go again here. There's another option. It's Ellis.
They've switched off here, Port Adelaide. They've given away 2 uncontested marks inside 50. They're just not with it.
Well, I could see Ollie Wines having a crack at the umpire saying what's going on, because Carl Amon was actually holding Flanders 10 metres from where the actual free kick was given to Anderson, who had no impact on the stoppage. So a bit of confusion there amongst everyone.
So end result is Ellis to give the Suns the lead. Straight in front, City in goal. 45 out, he likes it. He nails the goal. And the Suns are back in front. Another lead change for Red Z Lending Stats. Gold Coast by 2 points, 8-10-58. We've got Port Adelaide 8-8-56 on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. And Sean Burgoyne, Tom Rockcliffe, that sort of stuff is pretty unforgivable. I would have thought Kenny Hinckley would be furious.
Yeah, they just switched off defensively. There was no one manning up Swallow, and then we see Alice go in and no one went to him. And I think Farrell may have been on the wing, Alice's direct matchup, and he ended up inside 50, about 30 out directly in front, went back and kicked the goal. And we spoke at half-time about Witts' influence and how they were going to nullify that, and that's what happens at stoppage sometimes. When there's a dominant ruckman, you get a bit panicky, and when the midfielders at ground level get on the move, you tend to grab a jumper or try and stop them from getting forward. So it's a watch and see at the moment for Port Adelaide. They need a lift.
2 point lead to the Suns. McDonald's Aram Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy. Oh, Chol went about 3 hours earlier. The centre bounce went past it. They still get their clearance through Miller. Now Rao sends them into attack. Burgess got a one-on-one. McKenzie over the shoulder. No free kick paid. Good spoil in the end. And Lear just gets a little check side ball, which is going in the path that Rosie couldn't gather. Slipped out of his hands and boundary throw in half forward.
Yeah, that move's been made now. Took Miller's on the Red Z Lending Stat up to 22 disposals. Willem Drew's following him around everywhere he goes now.
So throw in. Have a look at that contest. The Drew Miller set up. And then Burton coming as a third man in as Drew went at the footy. Gee, just steamrolled a couple of them there, Ollie Wines. Here's Willem Drew for Port Adelaide. They're under some real heat across their back half. They link up with hands. Pau Pepper to Amon, tried to step it around Rankin. Ollie Wines was alert to getting boot to ball. Sends it to Farrell, approaching half forward. Left foot ball. Marshall's in the van here. Georgiades came through. Oh, they missed each other up. They missed each other up. Here's Collins. He had it smothered by Marshall. Georgiades' beautiful follow-up. And it rushed through for a minor. So the Suns, they lead it by a point on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Right, there was an easy mark there. If one of them just had to stay down and it would mark on top of the goal square. But, you know, both guys got eyes for the ball, so that can happen at times.
Oh, the pressure has gone up. Going through the roof. There's so much on the line in this mini-elimination final for both teams. Free kick to Casbolt at half-back. He was held in that contest. Miller's going to take one. Drew just having a little moment to catch his breath, trying to run with him now and shut him down, as you heard from Tom Rockcliffe. And Witts was held by McKenzie. They get on with it. Rankin to Holman. Just tries to pass a little ball. It didn't make the distance. Oh, Burgess on his knees. Dropped the dolly. That would have been a certain shot on goal, but just didn't quite have enough distance on the kick. And ends up with Houston in the back pocket. He dumps one down the line. Dixon's come up at it. Nice spoil there. Well done from Graham. Sent back into attack. 3-on-1. Aliir over the top. And Rankin to the pocket. He loves these. Eyes it off. Isaac Rankin, you star. How did he kick that? Great crop, and Gold Coast are out by 7. He is a jet. Port Adelaide 8-9-57. 9-4 64. I should say the Gold Coast is 64. Port Adelaide 57. 7-point margin. Can you believe it?
Yeah, they've lifted the intensity, that's for sure, the Gold Coast Suns. And Source Jacobs down on the boundary just said that the Gold Coast needed a lift from their small forwards, and And what a lift that is. Rankin on the right boot. Beautiful goal. He snuck that through.
Yeah, the two Port defenders went up against the one Gold Coast player and dropped the ball. If one of them's got a marker, you've got to fist that across the boundary line and get out of the danger zone. Otherwise, guys like Rankin will make you pay.
Just to give some insight on that matchup as well. Last year, Ollie Wines, one of the best and fittest players at Port Adelaide, came off the ground after Tuke Miller went with him all day and said he couldn't keep up with him. So Willem Drew's going to have his work cut out. They reckon he's one of the best runners in the AFL.
The McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Suns are out by 7 points. Out of the middle, Port Adelaide try and win the clearance. They will. Pal Pepper handball. Boak over the top. Heard the voice of Rosie. Runs in, lines it up. Connor, yes! Margin back to a point. Connor Rosie, very clean. 9-10-64 Suns, 9-9-63 Port. Triple M Beacon Trade Scoreboard supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier. Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe, Triple M footy.
How good's this contest? The goal from the centre bounce, but something happened there with Finlayson. One of the boys said, get involved or, be more proactive. So he did. He didn't just compete in the ruck contest and stand still. He followed up and they got on a handball chain. So if he's going to lose a tap to Wits, he's actually got to get on his bike and start running and being involved in the contest. And results like that, Connor Rosie, big-time goal, that one, because they're under the pump a bit at the moment, Paul.
McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Finlayson does not want to go at Wits again. He is going to need an ice bath all the way up to his ears and a snorkel coming out tonight. Play on. Corky's galore. Wits does it again. Through Anderson. They drive into attack. It's goal for goal at the moment. Rankin has Bonner. Did Bonner have a chance?
I love this at the moment. There's a bit of cat and mouse at the moment. Miller came off the ground and then Drew came off and Miller ran back on the ground and Drew's stuck on the bench now.
So ball up, 50 out from the Suns' goal. Finlayson did a great job. Burton was clever, just weaved out of traffic and hacks a ball to the wing and says, go and get it. Jones tries to be first to it. Markov beat him. Well, there's a player down inside attacking 50 for the Suns. He was dropped off ball. Or he maybe just lost his footing. Still in dispute though. 70 out from the Suns' goal. Now Jones and Dixon are going to try and combine and run it out.
And they do. It was Jones to Dixon, back to Jones, down the line, stayed in play, bounced out of play. Oh, the umpire left it in. Pal Pepper gave it to Georgiades, can stream in, gives a handball, opportunity. Connor Rosie's got his third. Back-to-back goals, and the power in front. Wouldn't mind seeing the Harvey Norman on the boundary. Port Adelaide by 5 points. It is a 10-9-69 Port Adelaide. The Suns are 9-10-64 on the Triple M Beacon Trade Scoreboard. We might head to Sam Jacobs for Bob Jane T-Marts.
There's a big difference, boys. When Jeremy Finlayson and Charlie Dixon are rotating quicker, they're a lot fresher and they can compete with wit. So that might be something they need to look to do for the rest of the game, is just keep spinning them through and keep the intensity around the ball.
Tell you what, Connor Rosie's actually picked it, hasn't he? He's run the route really well. He's thought, I'm going to back my teammates in the last 2 goals. He's got because he's read the play of the game.
It's his second goal for the night. Connor knocked 3. Got a bit excited. He's had back-to-back goals and Port have hit the front. Suns will stick in.
Due to that ball stay in, Triple M Harvey Norman replay. We're going to have a look at that. Won't talk about that for a week or two. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Rowell trying to get busy. Wits dominating. Back to Wits. He's now doing everything. He's on the run to Anderson. And Swallow picked it off his toes. Frederick jumped on his head. No free kick. Umpire circling. Don't touch it. Ball up again.
It's going up, hasn't it?
Oh, has it? What?
Going up a couple of notches. Ripping contest now.
Raise the stakes. Like a cow on an elevator. They are being raised for sure. Going through Rosie. Couldn't quite get it. There's pressure. Pressure everywhere. Rosie just dumps it. They're going to try and slow it down.
I'm confused. Can you explain that one to me?
If you need to work out how to raise the stakes, I'll explain it to you off air. Now Dixon, and half forward. He's on the wing, nice mark contested. Looks to half forward. Pal Pepper's in the spot. Spoil though was well done. He follows up his own work at ground level. Immediately jump on him. There's Rosie again. He's everywhere. Back to Amon. Now Houston steadies, lowers the eyes, spots up Farrell.
So Farrell over the top ball. Nice. Here's Finlayson. Nothing like a Biggers attempt at humour to just dampen the feel of a game. From nowhere. Now Finlayson, 60 from home. Right to the dangerous teeth of goal area. Jones came out with a fist. Dixon tried the roving work. Ground level stuff. Have a look at the Suns. Red jumpers everywhere. Rouse smothered by Motlop. Rush through. Motlop grabs his shoulder. So it's Port Adelaide by a goal. It's 10-9 or 10-10-70. The Suns are 9-10-64 on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Around 7 minutes left in the third. What a cracking contest we're seeing here. Port Adelaide are the last 12 wins versus the Gold Coast. Gold Coast have never won here. Oh, dodgy kick. And up to the task. Ballard shrugs off one. He's still in defensive 50. Has Lemons in support. Now he looks out to the wing, which was caught out of position. Finlayson's spoil was terrific. And Ellis reads it best. Takes on Dersma. Dersma put the clamps on him. Got him. Now Pepper takes the advantage. Into the pocket, Marshall and Ballard. Marshall on the second grab. Bounces back to Ballard. Now they just get it out of there through Bowes, the Suns, but the wall's been built. Across the 50-metre arc by Port Adelaide, sliding through. Look at him go, Mead. Smash through Rao. Takes him on. Did he get rid of it? He threw it. Rao took on Motlop. And Motlop, and his pressuring best, shuts him down.
Yeah, very good chase on the Harvey Norman replay there from Stevie Motlop. He hasn't had a big night tonight. He hasn't touched it that often, but the pressure he just put on them was superb.
Can you make the distance?
I think the stand rule will actually help him here. He might get a little bit closer and be able to arc out, but really touch and go from, he'll have to kick it 49, 50 metres.
Back in the team, Stevie Motlop set back to the sample, had 29 disposals and kicked 2 goals there. Lining up for his first back at the AFL level today. He released from 50, got out on the arc just, gives it everything. And it goes through a minor score. So Port Adelaide now will lead by 7. I don't think they will score review it. They won't. 10-11-71 the Power. 9-10-64 on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So Bowes brings the footy back in for the Suns. Here's Miller, drew right in his back pocket and just walked over the line by Boak. Introducing the Australiano, made with McCafe coffee, chai and native Australian wattle seed. Just getting a look at the Harvey Norman. Looks as though Fiorini is just warming himself up, the sub for the Suns. Sam Jacobs will be all over that for Bob Jane. Dixon just able to out-strength Wits in the ruck and sends Port Adelaide forward. Out the back opportunity. Finlayson goal! Margin out to 13 points, Port Adelaide. 11-11-77 the Power. 9-10-64 the Suns. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, third term, 25 minutes gone. Tom Rockcliffe and Sean Burgoyne on Triple M footy.
Really good from Charlie Dixon on the Harvey Norman replay at that stoppage. You just got Wits out of the contest and Muscle got it long to a 2-on-2 and Finlayson, and it got through everyone, bounced into his hands and kicked the goal.
Well, that's going to boost his confidence because he's finding it very tough in the ruck at the moment against Wits. So he goes forwards, kicks the goal. He's able to feel good about himself because he's had a tough day today. Yeah,
some Red Z lending stats as well for this quarter. Connor Rosie, he's had 6 disposals and kicked the 2 goals. Charlie Dixon's had 6 and kicked a goal. And for the Gold Coast Suns, Wits has had 7 and Took Miller's had 6 disposals.
McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks football. 12th versus 11th, living up to the hype. Dixon in the ruck now, giving Finlayson a spell. Rosie in there also. Motlop's come up from half forward. His kick was partially smothered. Now Boak spins around, wobbly ball to the face of goal. And speedily intercepted. Look at the run from Miller. He's come from that centre bounce and he's already going to have an impact on this ball. He wraps up Wines. Brilliant tackle. Miller is outstanding, having one of the games you'll see really lifting up the Gold Coast side on his shoulders.
I think Motlop hit his shin on that kick, didn't he?
Yep.
Near missed the ball.
On the Harvey Norman replay, that's holding the ball on Ollie Wines.
Absolutely. Around the grounds for Choice Hotels. Collingwood home by 11 points over the Giants. That's to go with that earlier game today. Adelaide by 57 over the Kangaroos. Inside 50, ball here for Port Adelaide. Georgiades Jones came sweeping through. Pressure coming from Flanders, and it is out of play. 35 around will have it thrown in from Port's goal. The Power got the ascendancy in this third turn. They lead by 13 points.
Sean Burgoyne told us Lockie Jones would be playing that high half-forward role again, and he was spot on. Kenny Hinkley wants him to settle into the role. They push Houston back with Cleary out of the side, as well as Darcy Byrne-Jones. So from the boundary throw, it flipped over the back, then Bonner scooped it up, sends it back into attacking 50, and Marshall held. No, says the umpire. And that battle with Collins is just incredible. Sam Collins. No one wanted Sam Collins. He ended up being a best and fairest winner and has not missed a game this year. 97% of the games he's played, 97% game time I should play in every game. So reliable. So from the boundary throw-in, high contact was given away by Wines. The Suns try and run it out, and it ends up with Holman on the wing.
And he goes short. You just feel like the Suns, they're not going to go away. As Sean Burgoyne touched on earlier, they have become a little more mature side. As Swallow goes in the Chol direction, Dixon put himself in the spot. Ground level, little pickup. Is that a high tackle? No. Here's Rosie. He's been busy. Just missed the Farrell handball. Dixon, little tap. Swallow, some nice step-through stuff. Now McKenzie and Allaire should be able to wrap this up. They do for Port Adelaide. McKenzie able to take the mark in the defensive 50. They lead it by 13 points, Port Adelaide. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. 28 gone, third term.
Allaire did a great job of holding out Burgess, not letting him bring the ball to ground, and McKenzie stood under it. He chips a short one to Allaire, who spots up Georgiades. Nice spoil there from Graham. Now Anderson, underground handball, puts in the path of Rankin. He couldn't gather, now picks it up. Now Ainsworth gave it to him, he squares it across the body. Oh, what a ball! Was that intended? Across the body, right angle kick, and finds Ellis right on the chest, 30 out from goal.
Well, Paul are in the process of pressing forward at the oncoming player with the ball, and Xavier Dersman had to do it himself. So that's how his player gets out the back, because they started, once the first guy goes, the second guy goes, the third guy goes, and then if you don't intercept the ball, they square it up to a player. Very good from Gold Coast.
So the most experienced son out there, Brandon Ellis, already a goal kicker tonight, now has two. And the Suns respond. 10-10-70 they are. They trail by 7 points. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Let's get down to Source Jacobs and Bob Jane teammates.
Ironically, both teams have brought out the slow it down signs, boys. So it's 7 points here and about 3 minutes left. So both teams are looking to shut it down. I reckon they're both pretty happy with this margin going into the last.
Just seen Rankin win that footy at half forward. We've seen Jonas coming the other way, and Tom Jonas normally goes straight through someone, but I think because it was Isaac Rankin, he was a bit nervous that he might sidestep and make him look silly, but very composed then from Gold Coast, and they were able to find that mark inside 50. And a great point you make, Shawnee, about the offside slide. So when Dersma, as the wingman, has to go and cover someone else's man, that's where the high forward you're hoping or expecting to come up, but they just couldn't get there. So Port Adelaide, it's game on again, and a ripping contest here.
Oh, Sean Burgoyne, Tommy Rockcliffe, the offside slide, I like it. For Seabus tonight, we're back in the middle. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Port by 7 points, and they've got the footy. Ollie Wines, right in the middle here of the Adelaide Oval. 2 minutes left in the term, goes long. At the front, well done, almost well done, Collins. He had a couple of bites, actually. It was his teammate at the base of that, Graham. He just couldn't complete the job, but he wins the free kick. Caleb Graham, 29th game, goes out wide, looking for Witts, gets in, across half-back. Port by 7 points, Suns with the footy. They've moved it pretty well on occasions in this term, but Witts, maybe not the man you want distributing. Turnover, Finlayson, and it might hurt a lot because Marshall has taken the mark inside 50. Bit of angle about it, but he's a dead-eye dick, this guy.
Ruckman, you got to love him, Shawnee. Trying to pull off the 45 kick. Stay in your lane.
And he kicks it straight to his opposition Ruckman.
Oh, they all think they're smarter than they are. Just do the basics, handball it off.
So this is a big, big kick. Marshall. He's got two tonight. Two straight. He comes in. Cathedral end. the right side of the ground, 45-degree angle. The kick on its way. He runs and likes it straight off the boot. Geez, got one of the best actions you'll see. So relaxed and beautiful to watch. And they're out by 13 points, Port Adelaide. 3 for the night for Marshall. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. 12-11-83 Port. 10-10-70 Suns. Let's head to Source Jacobs for Bob James T-Marts.
Just quickly, boys, all we're hearing from Rocky is how Jared Witts is the most important man on the ground tonight, and then he's backstabbing him when he turns the ball over.
No, not at all, Sauce. As I said, just stay in your lane. Do what you do well. And for Ruckman, it's the basic things. Don't overcomplicate it. It's like Biggers up here when he tries to go with a funny joke and he just butchers it.
I'll give you a lesson in humour later on. I do have an associate diploma in that, Rocky. So, the Intelligent Ruckman Society, I reckon Witts is right up there. The big man makes one error and you hang him. He's been an absolute colossus today. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. 13-point lead to the Power. And Witts is going to maul his opponent again. He does just that. Forward hit out. Rowell immediately jumped on by Drew.
Touch,
bolt out of there. The kick was partially smothered. Ricochets to Swallow. And he sends one to half forward. Burton attacked it with some venom. Now numbers at ground level. Bounces back to Burton. And now Bonner just dumps one out to Ollie Wines. Good contest with Ainsworth. Ainsworth, brilliant. Went back for the second attempt and dived on a grenade. Brilliant smother. Now it's still in dispute. Half forward for the Suns. Hot ball to win. Ollie Bonner back to Burton. Around the corner. And, Anderson. Touch of the fumbles. He heard the footsteps coming. He goes back and gets it though. And the crowd are into it. And it's three-quarter time. They're waiting to have a kick after the sign because they're still in the centre of the square, but we have a contest. Port Adelaide by 13.
Oh, what a game. It has been a terrific game of Sunday twilight footy for Choice Hotels around the grounds earlier today. The Crows by 57 over the Kangas, the Pies by 11 points over the Giants, and three-quarter time Port Adelaide by 13 points over the Suns. We've got a ripping final term to come your way. Don't go anywhere. We've got Tommy Rockcliffe and Sean Burgoyne after the break. Port by 13 points for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M Rocks footy.
introducing the Australiano, made with McCafe coffee, chai and native wattle seed.
Triple M Breakfast with Roo, Dits and Loz.
Drew, where can you find Drum and Golf?
You can find them where it is.
Mile end.
All right. Theos Morn?
This morning.
This morn. It's written Theos.
The Roo, Dits and Loz mid-year review.
Yeah, I think we failed.
Did we fail?
I think so.
Triple M Breakfast with Roo, Dits and Loz.
Hear the mid-season review now on the Listener app. Toolkit Depot. Best deals, no BS. Visit your local store now.
You don't have to sail the 7 seas to be a sailmaster. You just have to head to North Haven. There's a heated deck, open fires, heartwarming food, the Nautica function room, a big screen, and a sports bar, all overlooking North Haven Marina. The Sailmaster. Be entertained by the water. The Sailmaster at North Haven.
Do you want to win the value of your car service back? At North Point Toyota, just book your next service online, and one lucky person per month has the chance to have the cost of their service paid back. All you have to do is book online at northpointtoyota.com.au, and you'll be automatically entered into the draw to win the value of your car service back. It's the North Point way. Hillcrest, Prospect, Port Augusta, or northpointtoyota.com.au. T's and C's apply.
You wouldn't operate a chainsaw blindfolded. You wouldn't ride your dirt bike blindfolded. And you wouldn't walk on your roof blindfolded. Yet too many people dig without searching before you dig online first. Because if you don't search first, you're digging blind. Avoid high-pressure gas mains and high-voltage electricity cables every time. Search before you dig online every time. And never dig blind.
At Bradford Homes, let's enjoy the little things together.
Okay, over the garden shed is 60 now.
Let's create together. Let's grow together.
No, don't touch that.
Let's make memories together.
Hold the ball.
Let's turn heads together.
Wow.
Bradford Homes by Scott Salisbury, the most awarded essay builder. Adelaide, let's build together. bradfordhomes.com.au.
Feel the heat at South Australia's fastest supercars race, OTR The Bend Super Sprint. From the 29th to the 31st of July at the Bend Motorsport Park, a weekend filled with entertainment, non-stop motorsport, 5 support categories, demos and displays. All with more trackside camping, more facilities and best of all, more racing and motorsport. There's no race like it. Feel the heat at OTR The Bend Super Sprint. For more info, visit thebend.com.au or get your tickets now at Ticketek.
Australia, the Gem is here. The newest and most exciting prize and rewards program. The Gem is giving away even more. More cars. More cash. More trips. More savings from Australia's best retailers. And even more back to the community. Enter the code The Gem to receive your bonus entries. See website for terms and conditions.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Oh, fantastic stuff. What a game we got here at the Adelaide Oval. Port by 13 points at three-quarter time. It's 12-11-83 the Power. The Suns are 10-10-70. All that happening on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. Red Bigland's trying to explain the joke in the break and still don't get it, Biggles. We really don't understand. We got Sean Burgoyne and we got Tommy Rockcliffe here on Triple M footy. What's going to unfold in the final term, lads?
I think we're in for an absolute blockbuster. This has been a cracking game so far, 13 points in it, and I think it's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, I think it is. I think Port Adelaide were really finding it tough that quarter, apart from some Connor Rosie magic with 2 goals. Gold Coast seemed to be really evenly spread across the field. You know, we're talking about Witts a lot dominating in there, but Took Miller's the number 1 ranked player on the field. And for that quarter, he had Willem Drew running around with him. So I think it's going to be a really close game, under a goal, I reckon.
You just get the sense, don't you, that they're not going anywhere, the Suns. They've come with energy, they've come with pressure for a lot of the game. Down by 13 points. This first goal's crucial in the final term.
Yeah, I reckon they've sent Dixon in there for this first centre bounce. Watch him jump here. Whichever one of you two call it, I think he's going to go bang with the big knee straight into Witt.
Well, we're about to get it rolling. Final term action. Sunday twilight footy. It's Port Adelaide by 13 points in what has been a terrific tight contest. And here is Red Biglands to get things rolling in the final term.
Power Pepper just went down in the rooms with one of the medical staff, Source Jacobs, will have a look into that to see what's happening there. Port Adelaide are searching for 6 wins on the trot, and the Suns are looking for their first win at the Adelaide Oval. McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy. Rosie at the centre bounce was clever to Wines. Travis Boat, the old firm combined, and Boat sends it to half forward. Motlop steps over the footy. Markov was brilliant. Gathers. Rouse defensive run from the centre bounce was good. Got back to help out. Massive fist into the arms of Motlop. Oh, Dixon had a mid-air brain fade. Was about to have a kick and then forgot how to kick. The ball just lands on the ground. The Suns run off with it to Anderson. They're inside attacking 50. Here's Rankin. Lines him up. And the Jets got 3. Isaac Rankin delivers after a Dixon brain fade. And the Suns bring the margin back to 7 points, 12-11-83. The Gold Coast 11-10-76. And all that is happening on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard.
So Charlie went to kick the ball long, and as he went to kick it, he saw there was a Port player free over the top. So he wanted to sell some candy and then give the handball and just drop the ball. And then Gold Coast whooshka straight down the other end.
The only reason that he has done that is because he's playing ruck.
Yeah.
If he had been playing forward, he wouldn't have done that. It does funny things to funny people, doesn't it? The ruck, you get in there and you just can't think properly.
Let's head to a former star rucker himself, Source Jacobs for Bob Jane T-Marts.
Yeah, boys, Power Pepper looks fine. He just went in the rooms. He looks a little bit lighter, so I think all things being equal, he's fine.
Bob Jane T-Marts, buy 3, get 1 free and instant cash back on Bridgestone, Goodyear, Yokohama, Michelin, Dunlop and many more. bobjane.com.au. We are back in the middle. What a goal that was for the Suns, for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M rocks footy. Port Adelaide sling around some handball. It comes out the back to Houston. Sends a long ball inside 50, but the Suns have been able to pair off here. And nicely done, Markov. Got it out of the area. Oh, Holman. Very nice mark. He actually stretched over Houston to take it. He saw Ellis by himself. Centre wing outer. Farrell chasing, corralling, boundary line there. It's out of play, centre wing underneath the Max Bashir stand on the eastern side.
Did very well then, came Farrell. It was a 3-on-1 and he just had to force that ball out of bounds and he was good enough to get it out.
From the restart on the outer side. So there's a spare at this boundary throw-in, and Took Miller's being sat upon by Drew. Comes out to that spare and Anderson. His kick was partially smothered. Pressure around the footy is red hot. Willits provides some second effort from the stoppage. Then gives it out. Running Anderson. Crosses the paint of 50. Handball inside. Ainsworth squares it up. Casbolt's going to have a look at it. Did it land in the arms of Chol? No. McKenzie did a great job. Got a spoil in. And it's just pinging around now in front of the goals. Here's Rankin again. He's already got 3. Tried to squeeze one through. And I think Port Adelaide are going to rush it. No, they're not. Really walked along the boundary. Just tiptoed along it there was Bonner and got him out of trouble.
7-point lead to Port Adelaide. Dixon on the outer side. Georgiades had a little fumble. Tried to take him on. He might nearly be done. No, umpire said once clean possession. Gee, got a little rub on the head from Ellis.
Good tackle there, because if he gets 3 there, they're out, and they've got a +1 with the ball. Good tackle.
Seabus Super making hard work pay off. We got Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe for Seabus tonight. Houston out of the contest, stepped around, delivered to Rosie. Got him at centre wing. Oh, he was on his back, Rosie, and handball to the running boat. Sends a high long ball in. 1-on-1 Marshall and Collins. Big fist. Out of play. City in goal. 25 around will have it thrown in.
Really good play, but the kick just needed to be 5 or 10 metres shorter so Marshall can get the body on Collins and then come at it. But on his head, that's where Colin wants it, and he, as a true professional, puts it over the line.
Sean Burgoyne there. Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Boundary throw-in. Port Adelaide by 7. Up the City end. Dixon took the back spot. It got over the back. Motlop couldn't get to it. Trying to work out a play there. Now out of trouble. Rankin's pushed up as well. Trying to get some sort of contest. Umpire swarming it. 60 out from goal, but we'll have a ball up. So 4 minutes played in this third term. Can the Gold Coast almost jump into the 8 if they can climb this 7-point lead? Trying to chip it away now. There's numbers around the footy. Holman couldn't gather. Houston was good with his handball over the top. Farrell's been electric. He jumps one to the top of the square. Push out from Marshall, but it didn't matter because Ballard takes another intercepting mark, an important one at that.
Georgiades just not going to get used. You just can't let Ballard, the number 1 intercept marker, to come off.
So Ballard deep in defence here for the Suns. Port lead it by 7 points. Aaliyah able to fly across and take a nice mark. Just on the front edge of the centre square area. And he puts a long high ball in. Marshall's in the spot. Big fist from the back again. Ground level row. The old Dusty don't argue. And then he just trundles it out of there. Ground level ball. Ainsworth nice. He's got some run from Casbolt. No one inside there. 50. Feeding back McKenzie at a 1-on-1. Oh, nice mark taken. Burgess wants a free kick, is it? Umpire signalled the wrong way. Now he's changed it.
It's as good as mark as you'll see.
Burgess running back with the flight. Under huge McKenzie pressure. And takes it.
Harvey Norman replay. That's Nick Rewell sort of type stuff from the SCG. Eyes on the ball from 30 metres away and just charge back. Fantastic mark.
Get your tax time essentials at Harvey Norman. Shop in store or online. What a kick coming up for Burgess. Comes in. Cathedral end goal. And he has missed. Minor score. Margin back to a straight kick. 12-11-83 Port. 11-11-77 Suns. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Gee, Chris Burgess, what a mark. Back into the team this week. His first game for the year. It was a massive riser through pre-season and making his mark. Oh, there's Wetz. The 1-on-1 body out from the ruckman sitting behind the play. He's going to send it back into attack. Rankin run into the footy, then turn around trying to crumb it. He's going to keep it in just. Or no, in the forward pocket. He'll get a boundary throw in, and Rankin's having a conversation with the boundary umpire to work out what happened there. So Port Adelaide by 6 points. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. IJ Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
So we'll have it thrown in. Witz, he had Rankin steaming through, just couldn't get it to him. Port Adelaide clear it. Jones, nice mark. Across half back in a contested situation. Port by 6 points. But the Suns are coming strongly. Houston, 26 disposals now on the Triple M Red Z Lending stats. Red Z Lending loans for the self-employed. He went short to Amon. Footy still at centre wing. Amon pumps it up towards half forward. Big pack was there. Ground level Dersma. Oh, he had a little toe poke. Gained a few metres. Rolls out of play.
Oh, he's pinned him.
How is that deliberate?
That's the worst one of the night.
Insufficient intent. That is a man for the umpire. And that'll certainly warm up the tonsils of the Port Adelaide Army. So they kick to the wing now. Ainsworth went past it. We'll get a ball up right on the Toyota logo. There's a square up here. Not sure what that one was for. We'll get a look at that on the Harvey Norman replay, but it goes the way of Port Adelaide, and now Carl Amon has it in the centre of the ground. They square it up. They draw up their attack now. McKenzie just squares it. Wow, that was a great intercept there. He was looking for Dersma, and Levi Casbolt read it like a book. Intercepts, turns it over, goes to ground, and now Isaac Rankin takes off with it at full speed, has two bounces, lowers the eyes and hits Ainsworth. Isaac Rankin didn't have any pressure on him and just took off.
Port's defenders are just a bit too slow to react because Rankin had Jonas covered for speed, and Jonas called straight away. You could see him waving the defenders to push forward. They keep running back with their opponent, and then Trent McKenzie pushes up too late and they get an easy mark. So
Jonas stuck on the treadmill then, wasn't he?
He was. What's the saying?
He couldn't push the number up on the treadmill. He was going nowhere, and Ben Ainsworth in his 6th season with the Suns has 1 goal. He's hung it out to the right. Is it coming back? No. It smacks into the right upright. Flushed it. There's a minus score and a sigh of relief. Port Adelaide 12-11-83. Plays 11-12-78. The Suns, the power by 5.
Oh, what a game we've seen here at the Adelaide Oval tonight, and there's still more to come. Frederick's got it through half-back. Goes short.
Port Adelaide are going into this kick mark game and not taking the game on at all. I'm not sure it's going to work for them. Are they trying to just hang on at the moment? There's still a lot of time left in this game, but they don't want to advance the footy at all. They don't want to take risks. They're chipping sideways and backwards, and they're not really going anywhere. They've had about 5 or 6 kick and marks here, and they're still 40 metres from the Gold Coast goal.
That's a great point, Rocky. Tom Rockcliffe there on Triple M footy. He's called to play on here, Amon. He was under some real pressure. Now they've got to get on with things. McKenzie got it out of the area, up towards centre wing. Big fly, couldn't drag it down, Anderson. He followed up though. Here's Ellis sending the Suns long and deep. Rankin's going to come through, but Jonas strong. Really nice mark from the skipper. And delivered a short ball. Bonner, he bit off a nice inboard ball to Ollie Wines.
Power by 5 points. The pressure's mounting. Every moment counts. Oh, the press up and turnover was terrific there. Roses was the man. They intercepted, and Gold Coast are going to have another crack. Inside attacking 50, they go. Burgess couldn't bring it down. Ollie Wines gets back. Now McKenzie just loads the cannon, says get rid of it.
Carnage, 4 down.
And a free kick. It's going to go to Lemons, who stuck his head over the footy and went back with courage. And there's players down inside forward 50. Umpire's not going to recognise this. Let's hope it doesn't go in that direction. It doesn't. Goes to Chol, gets over the back. Numbers are there, swallows the man, the veteran. Can he pick it up? No, set upon. It took
down everywhere.
It is like an absolute war zone out there. There's players lying on the ground every inch of the forward 50. Ainsworth somehow got it, had a step on goal and won't get there. There's not enough trainers to attend to the players. They're all down, and one of those, I reckon, is Isaac Rankin's going to come from the field. Let's get down there to see what's happening. Sam Jacobs for Bob Jones T-Marts.
So, boys, before that, Alex Davies has actually come off, so he's actually been subbed out, and Braden Fiorani will come on for Davies, and now obviously Rankin and Jonas are coming off as well. So, plenty happening down here.
Who came on, Sauce?
Sorry?
Who came on?
Braden Fiorini.
Extraordinary stuff. On the outer side here, Port trying to work it forward. Jones in a one-on-one with Collins. He's done.
On the ground.
Jones wins it. He's got players feeding back. He's looking for Marshall. He gets him.
Let's just go back a couple of minutes where there was almost a car crash Leah looked at the pack coming and thought, I'm just going to take one for the team with courage, and went back in, and there was Leah, there was Rankin, there was Jonas, and then there was Trainers, and then Port are able to regather themselves after all that commotion and transition, and big time kick here right now.
Sean Burgoyne on Triple M footy with Tom Rockcliffe for Seabus. Marshall straight in front, City end goal, 40 metres out, kick on the way is good. Marshall's got 4. Porter out by 10. 89-79, Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop. Tommy Rockcliffe and Sean Burgoyne.
Yeah, Red Z lending stats. Marshall's only touched it 7 times, but for 4 goals. And I want to go back as well, Sean. You spoke about that before. We've seen Isaac Rankin come from the ground, and Tom Jonas as well in a bad way. It was a huge contest. There was bodies down everywhere, and I was a bit surprised the umpires didn't stop the game. There was people down everywhere inside.
How many trainers? How many trainers on the field?
Probably 15, weren't there, biggest?
It was tough out there. Built tough like a Ream hot water system, built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to hot water, I've seen him ask a pro to install a Ream. It was insane. They might have turned the button up on the ice machine. They might need a few extra bags tonight. With players down everywhere. And we are back in the middle. McDonald's and Ream hot water, Triple M rocks footy. Witts has been massive to the defensive side, but he missed Anderson. Finlayson was good with the follow-up. Got a grubbery ball, and now they're under siege, the Gold Coast defenders. Lemons is one of those. How Pepper got him, wrapped him up, not paid. And now just dumping it down the line. The sub is on, Brandon Fiorini. And let's get down to Source Jokers for Bob Jane teammates.
Trainer's working overtime down here. Tommy Jonas has both knees strapped, so he'll come back on. Boki's getting a rub, and Isaac Rankin is still down the rooms.
There's some heat in this one. Port by 10 points. Throw in, out of side. Final term, 14 minutes gone. The Suns try and eke it forward. Miller comes through. Handball over the top. Ellis has been important. Scrambles one inside 50. Pack forms. Burgess little sideways handball. Comes to Chol. He's wrapped up by Burton. Not quite. Chol busted through. Snaps around the body. Miraculous stuff, Barbiol. He's got 3. Margin back to 4 points, Port. 13-11-89. The Suns at 12-13-85. And Chol, that was pure desire. The Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. Here's Tommy Rockcliffe and Sean Burgoyne.
We just watched a Harvey Norman replay there, and Ryan Burton had his chance to make his first tackle of the game, and he just fell off Marbio Chol there, and he just went back and kicked the goal. Great snap, and Gold Coast are right in this. It felt like if they had kicked a couple of goals at the start of this quarter, they've been peppering. Port Adelaide went down the other end and kicked one, but Gold Coast get the instant reply.
If he sticks that tackle, that's holding the ball, free kick. He doesn't go to Marbio.
He just reached for it. He didn't get his shoulder in there, had the opportunity just to crunch him, and he reached for the tackle, and that's how they're often broken, when you're out reaching instead of driving your shoulder through the opposition player.
This is a different Gold Coast footy club. If you didn't know it, you know it now. McDonald's and Ream hot water, Triple M rocks footy. They're responding under all sorts of duress, and out of the centre bounce. It's hacked off the ground. Is this deliberate? Miller was the man. He was quickly kept in. And Mead gave a long handball to Jones, who overran it. Bowes sends it back into attack. Oh, nice gather there, but he just stumbled in the half volley. Roses as he tried to get on with it, get a boundary throw in.
Really crucial fumble by Jones, because they were out, one out. You've got to take those in high pressure situations.
Sean Burgoyne, Tom Rockcliffe on Triple M footy tonight. Throw in. What a stoppage this is. Witts pretty much uncontested. Got the tap down, but all the players were lurking. Drew, little sideways handball. Mead was able to get the handball away. Running is Bonner. Left foot ball, fighting Marshall. Oh, slipped through the mitts. Suns have got some real pressure at ground level. They win the footy. Bouncing ball in dispute. Bonner gathers again. Gets it to Pal Pepper. 55 from home. Vacant square. Sending it right there. Fisted through by Graham. And a minor score the result. Porter out by 5 points.
This is finals like at the moment, isn't it? The game's on a knife's edge at the moment. Marshall missed that mark straight through his hands, and the last 8 minutes of this game, it's pretty much elimination for whoever loses this game of footy.
5 point lead to the Power. 8.5 left in this final term, and Big Witts steps up. The co-captain strong in the air, but his kick again has let him down. And Houston intercepts. He wanted Port Adelaide's best. He squares it up. They try and use the corridor.
Something in what Rock said before about the ruckman, just kick it long, play within your lane.
Motlop's the man. He's going to send it back to Witts. He's going to burst through. Got a fist on it. Mead was good enough just to put some doubt in his mind. Aim on, you don't see that too often. Kick off the side of the boot.
Trying to barrel.
High up and under. Did he try and go the screwy?
Yeah, the old-fashioned screwy.
Gee whiz, Amon with a real blunder. Now the Suns have it across half-back. Anderson is going to try and drive forward.
So Port by 5 points. Anderson works it up the half-forward. Nice fist by Bonner. Sees it out of play.
But this is what pressure does. It's one-on-one all over the field. Carl Amon normally does a drop punt. Kick a drop punt. You know, like, you just do the basics well when the pressure's on.
Nearly 18 minutes gone, final term. Port by 5 points. It's at half-forward here for the Suns. Dixon in the ruck contest. Took it, dropped it again. And now it's wrapped up underneath him. Tackle put on him by Fiorini. He is the player that's come on for Davies for the Suns.
Good point you make, Shawnee. You played in about 40 extra finals games than what I did, but in big games, you've got to do the basics well, don't you?
Exactly right, just the basics well.
We've got to look at Rankin's got the shoulder strapped and he's returned back. We'll get down to Sauce Jacobs in a minute, but a kick into the pocket and Ryan Burton takes a sliding mark just in front of the old scoreboard. So almost 7 minutes left in this term. The Power by 5, 11 plays 12th. Big game on the line. Traditional 8-point swing, and that is a great mark by Ballard. He had players hanging off him and he stood tall. They'll try and build now. They send it back into attack, the Suns. Oh, Lear did everything right. Got rid of Burgess and then spilt the mark. It's now in dispute at ground level. Burgess goes back for it. Mead jumps on top and get a ball up. Power by 5 points. Let's get down to Sauce Jacobs with Bob Jane teammates.
Biggles just showing his IQ there. He's all over it. Isaac Rankin come back out with his shoulder strap, but he looks good to go, boys.
So ball up inside the attacking 50 here for the Suns. We'll have another ball up. It's a 5-point Port Adelaide lead. Inside the 50 here for Gold Coast. Little tap down. Rosie was able to spin through the contest. Got a nice handball to Dersma. Link up, bit of run happening from Carl Amon. Delivering in the Georgiades direction. Caleb Graham did brilliantly at the front here for the Suns. Sends the ball back, but Alir's in the spot. And he takes it this time. And Alir on that defensive 50 takes a pretty comfy mark.
Had some big one-on-ones with Charles that one. He was on his own. His kick was partially smothered. Goes out of bounds. We'll get a bonus thrown on the outer side. So we've got 6 minutes left in this final term. 5-point lead to Port Adelaide.
I'm not sure how that's play on. He's standing behind the mark. He goes to kick the ball. He hasn't moved. And nobody calls play on.
Everyone's losing their heads, including the umpires out there at the moment.
Sean Burgoyne and Tom Rockcliffe casting their eye over this one. Triple MC Bus super special comments. On the outer side, Farrell's been busy. Got around the corner and Powell-Pepper playing in front. He swings around to the Marshall direction. Is there a free kick there? No, his second attempt he couldn't complete it. It bounces back to him. And all of a sudden he's got a player out in space and Carl Amon. Really dinky kick. And it's still 50 from home. It'll test his range.
The viewers won't see them, but Marshall got the ball and Carl Amon running on his right wanted the handball received. He said no, pointed, you run, and I'll kick the ball to you, and kicks it. Now Carl Amon marks the ball 48 metres out.
He's in terrific form, Carl Amon, averaging 23 disposals this year. Start on the interchange though. He's played all sorts of positions. He's got a beautiful left foot normally, and this one he just skinnies it. It's a minor score. So 13-13 Port Adelaide, 12-13-85. That margin is 6 points towards the Power. Triple MRJ Liquor scoreboard.
1-on-1 again.
21 minutes gone, final term. Markov for the Suns bringing the footy back in. Kicks to the big contest. Ground level. Suns have got some numbers here. Around the body ball from Flanders. Oh, is that there on the full? It is. Right at the interchange gates. So Bonner with the footy for Port Adelaide. Normally a very nice user of the ball, but it's a congested park he sees in front of him. He's going to go down the line with the kick. And setting himself with a big fist, Graham again goes to the line out of play. And we'll have it thrown in.
Last 5 minutes of the game, you want your best team on the ground, and Swallows just come back on, and Miller's stuck on the interchange bench as well at the moment. So I need to get those boys back out there. Rankin's back out there around this stoppage.
The pressure gauge is humming. It has gone up a notch. Important boundary throw, and Dixon does well against Witts. He brings it to the front. Ollie Wines just wobbles the ball forward. Pal Pepper's been excellent. He gathers and has Rosie in support. Rosie squares one up, and Georgiades on the lead. Rosie's ball was perfect, right in the eyes of Georgiades, but he's tucked up against the boundary line though. He'll have a shot from 45. City ends. Very tough kick.
Thoughts, Rock? You played with him for a few years.
Oh, he's as likely to put this 20 rows back out on the full.
So he averages almost a goal a game, Georgiades. Loves it on a lead. He's going to need to start it right and swing it back. We'll give you a perfect view right behind it, the Triple M commentary position. He starts it right, brings it back. Not enough.
Pretty good effort.
Did hit it flush, so the margin back to 7 points in favour of the Power.
Vital point.
Vital point in Tom Rockliff's eyes. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
Yeah, a couple of scoring shots needed now for the Suns. 4 minutes left in this one. Bowes for the Gold Coast. Plays on from the defensive area. Porter got some numbers where he puts it to. Ollie Wines tried to bust through, did bust through. Put a handball out in front of Dersma. He followed the boundary with a handball to Pal Pepper. Snapped around the body to Sam. Big fist came. Front and centre. Jones for Port. Bo, can he do it? Trav! No! He's missed. Margin 8 points, Port Adelaide. 13-15-93 the Suns. 12-13-85 Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard.
They have gone coast to coast before the Suns. They elect to come to the members' side. Child was good on the layer. Just boasted him and then dropped the ball. It rolled over his shoulder. He had it on his lap and then it rolled over his shoulder on the ground. He was thinking about his next move. Child's been excellent. That was a big moment.
I love the ball. Whenever it goes to Aaliyah and Child, they're getting good body contact on each other, and the umpires are letting that one go.
They won't die wondering, those two. Full tilt at the footy. So boundary throwing. Half forward for the Power. Dixon lets it get over the back. Bogue mentally tackles. Jumps on top of Fiorini. He's come on as the sub. And now Miller. It gets through the centre of the ground. Ainsworth's going to run with it. Has an option in Ellis. The kick doesn't hit. The pitch is in front. Ellis is going to have to shimmy. Immediately swings around. Left foot ball. Top of the goal square. Burgess. Couldn't bring it down where the crumb was. Miller's one of those. Couldn't get a look at it. And defensive pressure from Port Adelaide's enough. But Ellis, courageous. Ellis going back. Is that 50? Pal Pepper dropped in. No, Ellis 70 from home.
Gee, Pal Pepper lucky there. So Ellis 70 from home. Puts it inside 50. Charles flew high. Big fist. Ground level. Bouncing ball. Aaliyah. Gee, handball put McKenzie under some real heat. On opportunity. Goes begging. No, doesn't. Holman. Holman gets the goal for the Suns. She's back to a two-pointer. And have a look at him give it to Burton as well in the square. It's 13-15-93 Port. 13-13-91 Suns. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. 2 points the margin for Port Adelaide. Here is Tom Rockcliffe, Schonberg on Triple M footy.
This is what pressure does to you, Shawnee. Big moments. They fluffed around with it there, Port Adelaide, and looked for the handball in the goal square. Trent McKenzie was on his knees, tried to get it to Ollie Wines, but the Gold Coast were coming in numbers and they were good enough to turn it over and kick the goal. And huge 2 minutes 20 left in this game.
That goal came on the back of pressure. They just wanted to pressure Port and not give them an easy outlet, and the result is a goal.
Massive couple of minutes. In fact, 2 minutes 25 to play in this final term. The mini elimination final between these two sides. Gold Coast searching for a historic finals berth. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy, which has been enormous. To Miller has been just as good. And he jumps on Wines. No free kick. Still within the centre circle.
They've got numbers back now, Port Adelaide. They've got Rosie and Marshall that are going behind the ball.
2 point lead to Port Adelaide. 2 minutes 15 left. Witts is trying to do it all himself. Trav Bogue has other thoughts. Grabs the ball, kicks it to half forward. Little palm down. And now they try and combine Lemons. Going to get out of trouble. Not quite. He's immediately run down. Flanders trying to help out. Pressure enormous. Collins dumps it to the interchange gates. Frederick, great spoil. Back to Frederick from Houston. Was he over the boundary line? Play onto the call. To half forward it goes for Port Adelaide. Collins was great. Now Miller.
He's taking it off.
Holding the ball.
Pal Pepper pressure. Big time tackle.
They've got to find one here, the Gold Coast. They've got to man up. Porter going to want to run the clock down.
So Jonas goes back. Port by 2 points. A minute 25 left. Suns are going to find players. Alir has to get on with it. Goes to the outer side. A contest here. Strong overhead, Rosie. Goes with a short ball to Motlop. A minute 7 left in this one. Goes short again. Finds Dersma.
Where you lay down and cramp in the calf, isn't it, Shawnee?
Oh, you always get tight calves this time of the game.
Dersma's gone for the fake cramp. The umpire not buying it. So he kicks along to the flank. Is it out on the full? He might have pushed too far. It is. So Gold Coast will get one last crack at it. 50 seconds left. They're a half-back. They get on with it. Here's Miller. They now try and run. They've got players up through the middle. What's Ballard doing up there? He's at half forward. They've swung the magnet to Ballard. 55 from home. 34 seconds left. He won't have the range. His eyes are darting around.
Oh, he's having a shot.
Hey.
He's going to have a shot, and the clock has got 24 seconds left on it. They haven't stopped it. So Ballard just dumps it into the hot spot. Who's there? Numbers getting back. Desperate stuff. Ollie White's getting a hand up on it. Still in dispute. Drew over the line. Was that deliberate? Boundary throw in. 11 seconds left. Port Adelaide by 2 points. It's right alongside the Gold Coast goals. Let's have a look.
So 11 seconds left. Metres around for the Gold Coast goal. Port Adelaide lead it by 2 points. Here's the contest. Throw in Wits. Oh, Rankin, no free kick. Amon scrambled it. Houston, Porter going to win it. Porter going to win it. Siren, Port have won it. They scrape in by the barest 2 point margin. 13-15-93 Port Adelaide. The Suns are 13-13-91 and Port stay in contention. Sean Burgoyne, Tommy Rockcliffe, Port Adelaide home in a thriller by 2 points, and what a contest that was.
It was. That was finals-like atmosphere. One-on-one pressure footy. We saw some huge contact, in packs. We saw some big tackles. We saw some mistakes. We saw, players, kick goals that they shouldn't kick. It had everything, to be honest, and I think that last little bit where Ballard went back and took more time than he needed will probably something that he'll reflect on to see if he can make a decision a bit quicker there. But overall, I think the fans will be pumped with the game they saw tonight.
Yeah, it was a ripping contest, as we touched on there, and we've just seen the Harvey Norman replay there, the Willem Drew handball out of bounds.
Yeah.
I reckon that's paid 9 times out of 10 these days. We've seen an off-the-ground ball from Dersma on the wing that got paid, and the umpire didn't have I'll go to you, Yoda.
Let's head down to Connor Rosie.
Great tackle at the end there by him, wasn't it?
Yeah, bloody oath. And that probably stems through the whole team. As soon as one person goes, it probably builds that momentum. So to have guys like him, the team's huge.
What about you? Playing great footy in the midfield and kicking goals. That's a lethal combination.
Yeah, it's nice to be in there. I'm feeling it. Body's a bit sore, but nice to get another win.
Go and enjoy it, mate. Well
Keep it
done.
on a roll.
Great stuff.
Oh, there he is, Mark the Godfather Rashuto, having a chat to Connor Rosie. Terrific stuff. And, hasn't he grown through the midfield there, Connor? And you heard him say, I'm feeling it. He's obviously copping the wax, but I tell you what, Sean and Rocky, he's really having an impact, isn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's been really good since he's moved in the midfield. I think he was round 6 when he went in there, or round 5 in the second half against Carlton. He's had a real impact since then. He was best on ground last week, and he was super again tonight with the 24 disposals and 2 goals.
Yeah, it is, and he's going to feel it, because that's what happens when you play inside on ball. You get whacked, you get knocked. and it's a different running pattern than playing half forward, where purely you're explosive all the time. So that's the next step in his footy career, is to go on ball and be a great a great midfielder instead of just a part-time midfielder.
It's our Triple M Amy review. Who covers clangers on and off the field? Amy does. Port Adelaide home by 2 points. There was another team out here tonight that gave everything as well, the Gold Coast Suns. And Shawnee Burgoyne, you touched on it pre-game, that this is a different team, and this was before the game. And I tell you what, as that unfolded, you were right on the money, mate. This is a team that stood up under the most intense heat away from home.
It is, and I think it's been a really good learning experience for them, because they're still finding their identity, and contested footy and hunting and numbers is part of that identity. But you've got to keep doing that week in, week out, and they're doing that. And they could have very easily won that game. There could have been a free kick, 1 or 2 played in that goal square, where they could have had a shot on goal to win. So they're not that far off it. And, the belief they get, they obviously did lose, but the belief they get in their system does work. And a couple of things happened a bit differently, and they could get the win.
I loved what Stewie Dew did tonight as well. Your former teammate there, Junior Berger, his 5th season as coach, and their best season ever after finishing 16th last year and 14th in 2020. They're in line for 7 wins, no doubt. You think they'll be knocking on the finals door, but he wasn't afraid. He moved Ballard forward. He threw numbers around the place, and he didn't just stick to his guns and what was working. He knew he had to try things different to win this match.
Yeah, we did. Well, we spoke about it in the first quarter. They weren't getting it done. They were just kicking the ball long. He gets them in at quarter time. He says, we need to pull the forwards up. We need mids to run out of stoppage, and then we kick over the back, or we have more space. And they adjusted at quarter time, and then they lifted their pressure with that, with the adjustment to tactics, and they get back in the game.
What's this ruck situation at with Port Adelaide? I mean, on the back of a superb ruck effort by Witts today, they were exposed. And I know they've got over the line in the end, but, Lysette, well, he's still a month or 6 weeks away, isn't he?
Yep, with that shoulder, he's 4 to 5 weeks away, yep.
So where are they at, Port Adelaide, in the middle?
Yeah, well, I think it's not necessarily Hayes' ruck work that is keeping him out of the team at the moment. It's what he does away from that. I don't think he can cover the ground as well as they would like. So I think they're going to have to persist with this until they get Lysette back. I think Witts was the best player on the ground tonight. He was influential around the stoppages and clearances as well. So they're sort of stuck in between at the moment. Again, the clearances didn't hurt them. They had a really good night on the clearance front. That they actually won the clearance count again by 1, but it just felt like when the game shifted momentum, it was Witts' influence around the stoppages.
Yeah, it was. He's a big man. You can't kick the ball long there. But surprisingly, a couple of times he was breaking perimeter, getting uncontested marks. So Finlayson, yes, you're going to lose a taps, but that's not good enough. You've got to go with him and not allow him to get uncontested marks in there, because that's your job to expose him, not him to expose you.
I thought Dixon did a great job when he went in there. They asked him to battle, and he was battling manfully. Of course, they lost their mid-season pickup in Teakle to that shoulder on debut. There are other injuries of concern, of course. Butters with that knee. Robbie Gray, where's he at, boys, as well? They get Fantasia in 1 or 2 weeks with his quad. Cleary and Byrne-Jones, you'd think, would be back with H&S protocols next week.
Yeah, I think Robbie Gray will play next week. I've seen him during the week, and he was pretty close this week. I think they just wanted to give him an extra week. We know he's been a little bit sore since he got that knee knock in round 1, so he's carried it most of the season, so I'd expect him to come back this week.
Well, next week you'd think Fantasia will come into calculations. Got through the Magpies game, did pretty well, and then Cleary and Byrne-Jones as well with COVID. I'm not too sure what day they get released from isolation, but there's a couple of senior players ready to come back in, and it can only help the team, can it?
Well, a lot of pressure on Stewie Dew pre-season. Going into this year, it was all the talk that he wouldn't even be there. But he's done enough now, hasn't he, to earn himself another deal?
Oh, I think so. And then King went down in the pre-season. Everyone said, oh, no, that's Gold Coast done for the year. But the way they've fronted up, and they've had a really good season. They sit 7-7. There's still a chance, an outside chance to play finals, the same as Port Adelaide. So I think he's done a really good job and deserves to get another contract.
Yeah, the teams they've beaten Fremantle, they've beaten Sydney, they've beaten Carlton. So they've beaten teams in the top 8 who people say are threatening for the premiership this year. So they haven't their 7 wins or 6 wins, whatever they've had, isn't been against the bottom-ranked teams. They've beaten teams in the 8.
I reckon when you listen to Tony Cochran speak, the chairman of the Suns, he's a big rat for Dewey, and I think 2-year contract extension will probably come through in the off-season because he's certainly earned it. We talked about their draw. They take on the Pies on the Goldie, the Tigers on the Goldie as well the week after that, and then the Dons at Marvel. So 3 interesting games shaping up there for the Gold Coast Suns.
All right, it's our Triple M Amy review, and we're about to take you down to the Port Adelaide room. Soak up a bit of the song. It was a big win. The club stay in contention for season 2022. 13-15-93 over the Gold Coast Suns, 13-13-91. And Marshall, what a star he was with 4 goals for Port Adelaide tonight. Let's head down to the Port rooms. Successful by 2 points over the Gold Coast Suns. Well, we got the full digital version, have we? There, the Port Adelaide. Okay, there we go.
I think Sauce forgot to put the microphone on down there.
Oh, there he is. Terrific stuff, Port Adelaide. We should really dig Sauce out of that hole that Rocky's just tossed him into. Sauce has made his way back up with us. Sauce, any response there to Rocky?
No, he's been very good all night, boys. We love the banter at Triple M, so he gives as good as he gets, Rocky.
Now, how was it down at ground level, mate? What did you notice? What did you see? How did you feel it all went?
Yeah, obviously you guys have covered a lot of it now, obviously with the dynamic through the midfield, but I thought Port's ability to continue to take the game on, I thought they were able to transition from half-back through the midfield, and then, blokes like Rosie and that were able to finish off the work, and I thought their left-footed crew, Amon, Bonner, all these types, Farrell as well, were able to have a big impact on the game too.
What did you see with Isaac Rankin when they took him from the field? He was sort of hanging with that shoulder, and it looked like in a fair bit of grief, but he came back on because there was so much at stake for this game. Do you think there's more in it?
Yeah, he just couldn't get back on, Isaac, so he got stuck on the bench there for a while. But I thought his ability to be able to fight back into the game, I thought we mentioned throughout the call that he didn't have his best night, but he was able to come in, impact, and he really got the Gold Coast Suns back in the game late.
There he is, Sauce Jacobs. Great job tonight, mate, for Bob Jane T-Marts on the boundary. And McDonald's, of course, introducing the Australiano, made with McCafe coffee, chai, and native Australian wattle seed, which Biggles, he's all over that wattle seed stuff, no doubt about it. Port Adelaide home by 2 points here at the Adelaide Oval. Where does this leave Port Adelaide now for you guys, heading into the last few games of the year? Obviously, they've got a tough game, but just physically, before we get into their run, can you tell me, on the back of two pretty bruising encounters, Sydney and then tonight the Suns, can that be beneficial to you as a player, or is it a negative going into next week?
I think this time of season, you match hardened anyway, you get a little bit sore, but your body's used to it. I think if you were the start of the year and you had 2 games like that, it'd knock you around a fair bit. So I think they're experience and their older guys, they'll handle it, no dramas at all. It's probably the younger guys that you worry about, and we spoke about Connor Rosie going into the midfield. He's played a lot at half forward, so it's a different dynamic when you go into the midfield and you're getting banged up every week. You don't have that explosive power that he has, and he won't be able to use it all the time. So I think you can manage, and the player management during the week is so good nowadays that they'll just give him a rest on the main training session and freshen him up a fair bit.
Yeah, exactly right. It keeps finals alive, and you get Cleary, Burn Jones back, but maybe Gray and Fantasia. So you get some senior players back into the team next week, and you just live to fight another day, to be honest.
You just look at their draw going forward. So you got Fremantle next week, then the Giants at Adelaide Oval, Melbourne, Geelong, Collingwood. So they've got a tough draw, no doubt about that, to finish the season. But they're right in it now. They've given themselves an opportunity after starting 0-5, and they've fought their way back and won 7 out of the next 9 games.
Yeah, so they sit equal now with wins for the Gold Coast Suns, still in 12th position because their percentage favoured Gold Coast. And, that Dockers game next week's in WA, and the D's game is up in Darwin as well.
Alice Springs,
Traeger Park, sorry. Yeah.
It's not like you to make a mistake, Biggles.
Very rare indeed. Put that one down on the Amy Clanger.
Now, Choice Hotels around the grounds, just covering off the other results. Collingwood home by 11 points over the Giants earlier today. And, of course, the Crows home by 57 points over the Kangaroos. Just one final word on Port Adelaide, boys. What impressed you most about today?
I think the way they hung tough. I think it was they could have folded there when Gold Coast, I think, had a bit of momentum in the start of that last quarter, but they found a way to scrape to victory, and they've been very good in close encounters of late.
Yeah, they got the job done, and sometimes you've got to win ugly, and that's what they did tonight. But there's also some learning curves as well, because players did some things in that last quarter where they tried to invent things under pressure, and it didn't work. And, just review those things just to make sure, no, stick to the process. We don't need to invent things when the pressure's on, and we should get the win. It's not going to guarantee it, but you stick to the process. You don't have to invent things. But really good learning curve that last quarter under pressore, and the crowd were going nuts, weren't they?
Oh, they were.
Good experience for the whole team.
Sean Burgoyne and Tommy Rockcliffe there. Let's get the triple MVP award for the homeloans.com.au, homeloans.com.au, the best and fairest when it comes to home loans. Who's got the votes?
Yeah, I've got him tonight. I thought Tuke Miller was outstanding outstanding all night, and Willem Drew went to him to tag him in the second half, but he finished with 30 disposals, 16 contested possessions, 9 clearances and 10 tackles, so I gave him 1 vote. I thought for Port Adelaide, Dan Houston was outstanding. He started the game really well. He ended up with 30 disposals, and he went at 95% by foot, which is a really incredible, not to hardly miss a target all night. And best on ground, I know I was having a bit of a joke about Ruckman before, but I thought Jared Witts was by far the best player on the ground tonight. He ended up with 20 disposals, 18 of them contested. He finished with 8 clearances, and he dominated the hit-outs. I thought his influence on the game was the most important tonight.
Oh, there we go. The triple MVP award for homeloans.com.au. Homeloans.com.au, the best and fairest when it comes to home loans. Well, there you have it. The round is closed out. Port Adelaide home in a thriller by 2 points over the Gold Coast Suns. Enjoy the rest of your week. Rocky, you're off to just rub shoulders with the fans. You normally jump into the after-game function, don't you?
Yeah, I'll go in there and razz them up a little bit. They'll be up and about, no doubt, tonight, Port Adelaide.
Port home by 2 points for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for IGA.